रहा है साथ साथ?
जी मैम, स्टार्ट करें? ठीक है
सर, वाइस चांसलर सर शुरू करें।
Okay. A very good evening to everyone. On behalf of Mahatma Hansraj Faculty Development Center, Hansraj College, I extend a hearty welcome to you all to this 3 days lecture series on NEP 2020, Delhi University Undergraduate Curriculum Framework 2022, being organized by Institute of Lifelong Learning, University of Delhi, in collaboration with Mahatma Hansraj Faculty Development Center, Hansraj College. It's a true honor for us to have respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Yogesh Singh ji, as the chief guest for the inaugural session today. We are really grateful to you, sir, for taking out time from your busy schedule and agreeing to be a part of this program. A very warm welcome to you, sir. We also have Professor K. Ratnabali, Dean Academic Activities and Projects, University of Delhi, and Professor Pankaj Arora, Director ILLL and Dean of Students' Welfare, University of Delhi, as eminent resource persons for today's lecture. A hearty welcome to you, sir and ma'am. A truly special thanks to the ILLL team, Professor Pankaj Arora, Director ILLL, and Professor Yukti Sharma, Academic Secretary ILLL, for guiding us all through in making this program a reality. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your guidance and support. Thank you, sir. I'm immensely delighted to share a few things about MHRFDC and its objectives on this platform today. MHRFDC is a center of Ministry of Education, Government of India that runs under Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, National Mission on Teachers and Teaching. The center runs with an objective of identifying the skill deficit in teaching community and work towards bridging the gaps. The center programs are always socially and geographically inclusive. Our college was given this center in August 2018, and the center has organized numerous programs since its very inception, more than 150 right now, national and international. The center has organized faculty development programs, induction programs, seminars, workshops, special lectures, conferences, etc., and is proud to be listed as one of the top performing centers of Ministry of Education. This has been possible only because of the tireless, consistent efforts and support of our respected principal ma'am, Professor Rama, who is the chairperson of the center too. She's truly the spine of the center. Thank you so much, ma'am, for always being there. The lecture series commencing today is based on National Education Policy 2020 and Delhi University Undergraduate Curriculum Framework draft released by University of Delhi last week. This event is expected to address to all the significant dimensions of the draft and give a comprehensive coverage to all important segments to its stakeholders. The themes for the 3 days are an overview of the draft on the first day, DU-UGCF and Youth in the Light of NEP 2020 and other national initiatives on the second day, and finally, future prospects from the national and global perspectives on the third day. We are absolutely sure that this program is going to be a true enriching experience for all the participants. Now, I would request Professor Yukti Sharma, Academic Secretary ILLL, to tell the participants briefly about ILLL's motto and today's program. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Namaskar and a very good afternoon, good evening, whatever I say, because it's the time when the transition is happening actually. Sandhya ka samay hone wala hai. So, isliye, once again, a very good afternoon, good evening. First of all, to our respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Yogesh Singh, Professor K. Ratnabali, Dean Academics and Academic Projects and Academic Activities, Professor Pankaj Arora, Director ILLL and Dean Students' Welfare, University of Delhi, all faculty members, scholars, students of Delhi University and other universities who have joined with us. On behalf of Institute of Lifelong Learning, our Director, Professor Pankaj Arora, our team, Joint Director, 17 academic fellows that we have, 9 interns from across the university who are with us, and our administrative department. I welcome you all for this academic event. It is a privilege for us that our respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, will address us today on the Undergraduate Curricular Framework 2022. Our sincere thanks is due to him for accepting our invitation and encouraging us. I would also like to mention on behalf of ILLL that Sir is also the chairperson of Institute of Lifelong Learning, and it's under his leadership that we have already been organizing many programs that are aligned to the fundamental ideas and pertinent issues which have been raised and brought to the forefront by the National Education Policy 2020, after almost 34 years of the last policy. One such program in this regard, which we have conducted, is Inclusion in Higher Education for all our faculty members, which was very well received, and NEP, we know that, specifically talks about this in relation to access and equity in higher education. Recently also, we conducted a collaborative event with National Council for Teacher Education, an open house discussion on NEP 2020, which was focusing specifically on NPST and NMM, where again, our Professor Vice Chancellor Sir was with us during the inaugural address, for the inaugural address. I'm also glad to share with you that we have also planned a faculty development program on pedagogy for higher education, which is another important area that NEP emphasizes upon. In fact, in a way that no other policy in education has done before. It links it to the quality aspect of the higher education. And this course, I would like to share, has been developed and vetted by various experts at ILLL and will be launched again with collaboration with Mahatma Hansraj Faculty Development Center of Hansraj College from February 21st. Thus, the Institute of Lifelong Learning, whose mandate is to continuously expand the horizons towards achieving excellence in higher education, is committed to create multiple pathways. And now it is in the light of NEP 2020 and under the leadership of our respected Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Professor Yogesh Singh. The Institute is also a nodal agency for creation and uploading of e-content for undergraduate students of the community. And in this, we have been contributing thousands of modules which are there on the website and are accessible to all the students and faculty members for various disciplines, across courses and programs. Last but not the least, I would also like to thank Professor Rama, Principal, Hansraj College, and Dr. Jyoti Bhola, the coordinator of the center, for coming forward for this great collaboration and also the upcoming collaboration that we have with them with respect to the pedagogy course. So with this, I once again welcome all of you on behalf of ILLL, and I'm looking forward to the insights on UGCF 2022 from Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir and the eminent speakers of the day. Looking forward to an enriching discussion and learning today. Thank you, and over to you, Dr. Jyoti.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your address. Now, I would request Professor Rama, Principal, Hansraj College and Chairperson, MHRFDC, to welcome the chief guest and other dignitaries and give the opening remarks. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Namaskar, Hansraj College, पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट सेंटर और ILLL लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग सेंटर दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी, दोनों के ज्वाइंट कोलैबोरेशन में आज ये जो 3 डेज लेक्चर सीरीज हमने शुरू की है, जिसकी बैकबोन है NEP 2020 सिग्नल दे रहा है, काम स्पीड से करना है। उसको आगे बढ़ाया दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी ने लगभग 1 सप्ताह पहले हम सब से सुझाव मांगे हैं कि भैया जाग जाओ, सुझाव दो, सजेशंस दो। उसी को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हंसराज कॉलेज और ILLL ने जो एक इनिशिएटिव लेकर आज ये लेक्चर सीरीज शुरू कर रहे हैं, इससे ज्यादा हमारा इससे बड़ा सौभाग्य क्या हो सकता है कि दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति प्रोफेसर योगेश सिंह आज अपने इनॉग्रल लेक्चर से इन 3 दिनों के कार्यक्रम को शुरू करेंगे। उनके साथ ही हमारे आज के पैनल में जिसने मुझे लगता है डे नाइट जिन्होंने मेहनत की है, कोविड की भी जिन्होंने परवाह नहीं की, और मुझे लगा कि हाँ उनको देखकर काम कैसे किया जा सकता है, प्रोफेसर के रत्नावली, डीन एकेडमिक एक्टिविटीज एंड प्रोजेक्ट्स, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली। ILLL जिसके हम लोग सब अपने आप को मानते हैं कि ये तो लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग है, हम सब उसके स्टूडेंट हैं, और उसके डायरेक्टर प्रोफेसर पंकज अरोड़ा, और इस समय तो डीन ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स वेलफेयर दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के हैं। उनके साथ टीम प्रोफेसर युक्ति और हमारे फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट सेंटर की कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर ज्योति भोला, डिप्टी कोऑर्डिनेटर डॉक्टर आशुतोष, वाइस प्रिंसिपल डॉक्टर अलका कक्कड़। मैं देख रही थी कि हमारे साथ 234 पार्टिसिपेंट्स जुड़ चुके हैं। इन 234 पार्टिसिपेंट्स के साथ साथ दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय से जुड़े हुए हमारे प्राध्यापक गण, दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के से जुड़े हुए अलग अलग विभागों के डीन्स, दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के प्रशासन से जुड़े हुए सभी व्यक्ति और सभी प्रतिभागियों का आज मैं इस मंच पर हार्दिक स्वागत करती हूँ। माननीय कुलपति सर, जिस समय कल पूरा देश 73वां गणतंत्र दिवस मना रहा था, आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव में दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय जो अगले कुछ महीनों के बाद मई से 100वें वर्ष में जा रहा है, हंसराज कॉलेज जुलाई से 75वें वर्ष पर जा रहा है, और कल 26 जनवरी 2022 को जब आपने दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में ध्वजारोहण करते समय एक अपने बिल्कुल क्लियर कट विजन को आपने हमारे सामने रखा, उस समय मैं देख रही थी कि किस तरह से एक एक टीचर, एक एक स्टूडेंट वहां पर खड़ा हुआ, एक एक व्यक्ति, जिस समय सर आपने ध्वजारोहण किया, ध्वजारोहण जैसे आपके हाथ से ऊपर गया, आपका जो आपके हाव भाव थे, आपके चेहरे का एक एक संकेत बता रहा था कि दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी ने राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति से जुड़े हुए ड्राफ्ट को अब पब्लिक डोमेन में दे दिया है। अब दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय को ही नहीं बल्कि सभी लोगों को जाग जाना चाहिए। और सर आपने अपना ना केवल विजन सामने रखा बल्कि आपने अपने संकल्प को भी सामने रखा। अंत में बड़े मौन भाव से आपकी जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज थी वो आपके संकल्प को बता रही थी, और आप मन ही मन सोच रहे थे कि आपका ये विश्वविद्यालय 100वें वर्ष में जा रहा है, मैं अपने विश्वविद्यालय को श्रेष्ठ बनाऊंगा। और जब हम श्रेष्ठ बनाने की बात करते हैं सर, दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय का गौरव है कि आप जैसे विजन वाले एक व्यक्तित्व के साथ इस समय दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय जुड़ा है। और सर हम आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं, जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 को सामने रखकर आपने दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय की ये जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का ड्राफ्ट पब्लिक डोमेन में आया है, कल आपने बड़े आत्मविश्वास के साथ कहा था कि दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के शिक्षकों को अब सोचना चाहिए, हम सभी शिक्षकों को सोचना चाहिए कि आने वाले भारत को हमें कैसा बनाना है। अगर हमने भारत के भविष्य को संवारना है, अगर हमने श्रेष्ठ भारत बनाना है, अगर हमने भारत को पुनः विश्व गुरु बनाना है, तो आज हमें जागना होगा और आज इस ड्राफ्ट को हमें पढ़ना होगा। कल आपको सुनते सुनते सर मैं सोच रही थी कि जिस समय ये ऑनलाइन शिक्षा आई थी, ऑनलाइन शिक्षा किस तरह से इसने टीचर्स को बड़ा स्ट्रेसफुल कर दिया था कि हम सब जो 40-40 साल से हम ब्लैक बोर्ड और चौक के साथ पढ़ा रहे हैं, एकदम से हम ऑनलाइन मोड में कैसे आएंगे। कुछ समय ही तो बदला, कुछ समय ही तो बीता, अभी कुछ ही समय पहले की तो बात है, कैसे हम सब ऑनलाइन मोड से इतना फेमिलियर हो गए कि आज हमारे टीचर्स, हम सब लोग ऑफलाइन मोड में आने से कतरा रहे हैं। और हमें लगता है कि इस ऑनलाइन मोड ने हमें कितना कुछ सिखा दिया। इसलिए बिल्कुल सही है कि हमें नए को स्वीकार करने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम 21वीं सदी के भारत में रह रहे हैं। हम मोबाइल फोन के युग में रह रहे हैं, हम प्रोफेसर गूगल के युग में रह रहे हैं। और दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय जिसकी तरफ पूरा देश ही नहीं पूरा विश्व देखता है, और जिस समय राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति जो लगभग 36 वर्षों के बाद आई है, हमारी अपनी शिक्षा नीति है, और इसके लिए मैं प्रोफेसर रत्नावली डीन एकेडमिक्स को फिर से बधाई देना चाहूंगी कि आपने जिस तरह से इस ड्राफ्ट को बनाते समय टीम के एक एक सदस्य को आपने जो एक कहना चाहिए था खुलापन दिया कि सबके सुझाव आमंत्रित हैं, और आज की तारीख में किस तरह से बड़े आत्मविश्वास के साथ माननीय कुलपति जी ने कहा कि देखो सुझाव देने का समय है। हाँ, सुझाव देने के समय पर अगर आपने सुझाव नहीं दिए, सिर्फ विरोध के नाम पर विरोध किया तो बात नहीं बनेगी। और कुलपति महोदय ने इस बात से भी हम सबको अवगत करवाया कि मैं खुले दिल से, खुले मन से, हर तरफ से, खुले भाव से सुझाव मंगवा रहा हूं। सुझाव दो तो सही, अगर सुझाव आएंगे तो आपके यदि वो सुझाव इस दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के भविष्य को संवारने के लिए होंगे, आपके वे सुझाव यदि दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय से जुड़ने वाले स्टूडेंट के लिए होंगे, आपके वे सुझाव यदि दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के एक एक विद्यार्थी के उसके ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट के लिए होंगे, यदि वे सुझाव दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के विद्यार्थी के जीवन को एक नई दिशा देंगे, तो आपके उन सुझावों पर ना केवल विचार किया जाएगा बल्कि आपके सुझावों को उसमें शामिल भी किया जाएगा। सर, कल आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि भाई 176, 196, 140, 140, 150, 200 इतने क्रेडिट से क्या होने वाला है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? क्या एक शिक्षक का पूरा दायरा केवल पाठ्यक्रम तक ही रहता है? क्या मैं अपनी कक्षा में केवल और केवल क्रेडिट्स को सामने रखकर अपने विद्यार्थियों को पढ़ाती हूँ? नहीं, हमारे सामने विद्यार्थी का जीवन होता है, हमारे सामने विद्यार्थी कितना कुछ लेता है। क्योंकि सर, मेरा मानना है कि एक समय पर माता पिता के बाद शिक्षक निर्माता माना जाता है विद्यार्थी का। शिक्षक विद्यार्थी के जीवन को दिशा देता है, उसके जीवन की दिशा को निर्धारित भी करता है, लेकिन उससे पहले शिक्षक को भी नया करने के लिए तैयार रहना चाहिए। शिक्षक को भी जब ऐसी कोई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति नहीं आती है, शिक्षक को भी कुछ भी नया होता है तो पहले उसको देखना चाहिए। आज ड्राफ्ट हमारे सामने आया है। अब सबसे मेरी करबद्ध प्रार्थना है, इस मंच पर जितने भी हमारे प्राध्यापक जुड़े हुए हैं, जितने भी हमारे विद्यार्थी जुड़े हुए हैं, प्रशासन के जितने लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, मैं विश्वास के साथ कह सकती हूँ हम में से बहुत से लोग ऐसे होंगे जिन्होंने राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति भी नहीं पढ़ी है, तो कम से कम राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति आप सब लोग पढ़ लीजिए। दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय ने ये जो महत्वपूर्ण ड्राफ्ट हमें दिया है, इस ड्राफ्ट को का हमें एक एक अक्षर पढ़ना चाहिए, और इस ड्राफ्ट के एक एक अक्षर को पढ़ते हुए हाँ हमें कुछ कमी महसूस हो संवाद के लिए, कम्युनिकेशन के लिए, तो बुलाया जा रहा है, हमें आगे आकर आना चाहिए। केवल विरोध के लिए विरोध क्यों नहीं, हम अपने विद्यार्थियों के लिए आगे आते हैं और हम दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के प्रशासन को विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि जब जब अच्छा होगा हम सब शिक्षक साथ रहेंगे अपने विद्यार्थियों के लिए। इस समय हमारा एक ही मकसद है कि ये जो राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति आई है, इसमें से हम अच्छा लेकर अपने दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के लिए अच्छा करते हुए, हम कदम से कदम मिलाते हुए इस राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के साथ जुड़ेंगे। दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय ने पहल की है, हंसराज कॉलेज, ILLL आप सबका धन्यवाद करता है, आभार व्यक्त करता है। और सर, आज हम हंसराज कॉलेज और ILLL के बिहाफ पर आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं कि महात्मा हंसराज के नाम पर, पंडित मदन मोहन मालवीय के नाम पर जुड़ा यह सेंटर, लाइफ लॉन्ग लर्निंग सेंटर दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय में हम सब के आगे एक उदाहरण प्रस्तुत करते हुए इस मसौदे पर, इस ड्राफ्ट पर ना केवल हम अपने सुझाव भेजेंगे, बल्कि जो कुछ अच्छा होगा उस अच्छे को हम सब मिलकर साथ भी लेकर जाएंगे। ईश्वर हम सब का भला हो, हम सब के अच्छे विचार हो। पुनः मैं आप सबका स्वागत करती हूँ, माननीय कुलपति महोदय का स्वागत करती हूँ, उनका धन्यवाद करती हूँ, आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ कि सर, प्रशासन की इतनी व्यस्त दुनिया में से जुड़े होने के बावजूद आज आपने इस कार्यक्रम के इनॉग्रल लेक्चर के लिए समय निकाला। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। पुनः आप सबका आभार व्यक्त करते हुए मैं आप सबको शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ। धन्यवाद, सादर नमस्कार। डॉक्टर ज्योति, प्लीज।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the opening remarks. We once again thank you for your constant support and encouragement all through. Moving on, though respected Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir needs no introduction, but maintaining the protocol, I would like to take a few minutes to introduce the chief guest of the program to the participants. Please allow me, sir, just 2 more minutes here. Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, Professor Yogesh Singh ji assumed the charge as Vice Chancellor of University of Delhi on October 8, 2021. Prior to that, he has held various significant positions like Vice Chancellor of Delhi Technological University, Director of Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Sayaji Rao University of Baroda, Gujarat in the past decade. Sir received his MTech in Electronics and Communication Engineering and PhD in Computer Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, Haryana. He has supervised 23 PhDs and published more than 250 research articles in various journals of national and international repute. Sir has authored books, participated in Yale India leadership programs in Yale University in 2011. He is a member of Executive Committee of NAC with effect from October 2019. He is the chairman of Governing Body of Information and Library Network InflibNet Center, Gandhinagar. He has also served as Dean, University School of Information Technology and Director, Students Welfare of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, and so on. This list is endless. Sir, your career profile is truly magnetic. It's a great inspiration for the entire community of academicians. Now, without consuming more time, I cordially invite you to start with the inaugural address, sir, and set the ball rolling. Once again, we welcome you, sir. Over to you now.
Thank you very much.
Namaskar, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening to all of you. Am I audible? Voice is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'm thankful to Jyoti for nice introduction. Professor Pankaj Arora, Director, Institute of Lifelong Learning. Professor Rama, Principal Hansraj College. Professor Ratnavali, Dean Academics. Professor Niranjan, Dean Planning. Professor Tek Chandani, Dean Recruitment and Promotions. Other respected teachers of Delhi University and outside Delhi University, dear participants and my dear friends. I am thankful to Professor Pankaj and Professor Rama for organizing this 3 days lecture series on National Education Policy 2020, Delhi University Undergraduate Studies Curriculum Framework 2022. In last 2 years, we are discussing national education policy. I think thousands of seminars are being conducted in India about the national education policy. Policy is good. Yes, it is good. No doubt about it. National education policy is student-centric. It is also India-centric. It also promotes conceptual learning and discourages rote learning. It also promotes cooperation, coordination, collaboration, and compassion. And at the awareness level, our teachers in Delhi University and outside Delhi University all are aware about the national education policy. So many seminars have been organized, thanks to all those organizers. But when we talk about the level 2, level 1 is fine. It provides, national education policy provides a roadmap for education, for future of India. But now time has come. We have to take few steps for achieving level 2. Level 2 is what? Implementation plan. Any policy has no meaning if it is not being implemented correctly. And this is a big challenge. But How to implement this? This how is very important. Time is also very important. Right now, time is right. Policy has support of Government of India. Policy has support of University Grants Commission. Policy has support of academicians. Policy has supports of most of the stakeholders. And if still we fail to do so, those who will follow us will not forgive us for our tardiness, negligence, and complacence attitude. We cannot afford to do this. Today in the newspapers, Professor Niranjan has written an article about the Macaulay model of education. You know, Macaulay wrote only a few pages. And if you read those pages, there is nothing great which is written in those pages. But Britishers implemented that. Implemented in the right way as per perception, perspective, and advantage side of the Britishers. They did it. So now it is our turn that we should do it. First of all, we should understand when we talk about the education, what is the meaning of education? Aristotle has rightly defined the simple way. When we say education, he said, purpose of education is learning to live together. Simple. Purpose of education is learning to live together. और भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरा में इसको डिफाइन किया कि समझ को विकसित करना ही शिक्षा है. समझ को विकसित करना ही शिक्षा है. We have to understand, first of all, the broad aspect. When we say the national education policy, what is the purpose of education? Chandakya has also defined education. Chandakya said, education is best friend. An educated person is respected everywhere. Education beats the beauty and youth. That is the power of education. शिक्षा सबसे अच्छी मित्र है. एक शिक्षित व्यक्ति हर जगह सम्मान पाता है. शिक्षा सौंदर्य और यौवन को परास्त करने का दम रखती है. Such a powerful instrument, and if that instrument is implemented in the right direction, we cannot imagine what will happen after 5, 10, 20 years in India. And whatever we want to do for the welfare of our dear students. संस्कृत में भी डिफाइन किया एक श्लोक में शिक्षा को, जो बहुत कॉमन है, सब लोग यूज करते हैं. विद्या ददाति विनयम, विनयम याति पात्रताम, पात्रत्वात् धर्मा प्रोति, धनात् धर्म तथा सुखम. विद्या विनय देती है, विनय से पात्रता आती है, पात्रता से धन, और धन से धर्म, और धर्म से सुख प्राप्त होता है. Are we addressing these issues? No, we are not addressing these issues. Albert Einstein has also defined, education is not the learning of facts. It is rather the training of minds to think. So here the point is, many philosophers have given definitions for the education, but here is, if education is developing a civilized mindset, creating a human being which is good for the society, it means one should have knowledge, skills, and attitude. Right now in the whole system, our total focus is on the knowledge sharing, not even knowledge creation. Others are creating knowledge, and we are using, in most of the, either we are using the knowledge created by our forefathers or from the Western world. Hardly any knowledge creation, which should be the center, should be at the center place. We are sharing knowledge. When it comes to skills, I don't want to say anything because you all know that many things are to be done in this area. Then attitude, we are not doing anything. So purpose is to develop a civilized person with skills, relevant skills and knowledge in the chosen discipline. And when we are not working, education is not focusing on that. Have you ever, as a teacher, tried to analyze your output? What is coming out of that? 3 साल का बच्चा मां लाके आपको दे के गई थी, और जो 23 साल का बच्चा बाहर निकल रहा है, तो कैसा निकल रहा है? ऐसी बहुत सारी मेरे पास घटनाएं, आज नहीं बोलूंगा उस पर। तो पॉइंट इज, वो कैसा निकल रहा है 23 साल का बच्चा? सेल्फिश है क्या? क्या माँ बाप के लिए रिस्पेक्टफुल है? क्या देश के लिए रिस्पेक्टफुल है? क्या उसके मन में राष्ट्र का भाव है, प्रेम का भाव है, सद्भाव है? Because we are not trained and tuned in that direction. 3 साल का एक निर्दोष सा बच्चा मां दे के गई थी, और 23 साल का जब मां को पकड़ा रहे हो तो मां को ही मां नहीं मान रहा। उस बच्चे का कसूर है क्या? बच्चे का कसूर बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, because he was with us for 20 years. We all are responsible for that. Our education system is responsible for that, because proper care, proper systems were not placed. This is a time to think about that. Attitude development, right kind of attitude, skills and knowledge, all are important. इसीलिए when teachers talk about you, मेरे मन में आती है एक बात कि किसी ने बहुत अच्छा कहा कि ये ना पूछना कि जिंदगी खुशी कब देती है, ये ना पूछना कि जिंदगी खुशी कब देती है, क्योंकि शिकायतें तो उन्हें भी हैं जिन्हें जिंदगी सब देती है। शिकायतें तो उन्हें भी हैं जिन्हें जिंदगी सब देती है। So now coming to the curriculum framework, this Delhi University and our NEP cell has taken a very right decision. A group of people worked together for months together and prepared an implementation plan for undergraduate studies. We are not saying that this is perfect, but yes, they have prepared something for discussion, debate, deliberations. After that, when we will implement, then also we are ready to improve. This will evolve in few years, because only experimentation will tell us the strengths and weaknesses of this. This we should remember. We are ready to improve. We are ready to improve after 1 year also, depending upon the experience, but our intention should be good. Professor Rama has rightly said, this intention is very important. विरोध के लिए विरोध, वो तो फिर हम भी बहुत सारा कर सकते हैं. But here the point is not that. We have to take it in the right spirit. And in this curriculum framework, although Professor Ratnavali will tell you in detail, there are discipline core. We say 50% should be from the discipline core. If you have taken admission in the physics, focus on the physics, at least 50%. Discipline electives, if you want to pursue your career in physics, take electives from the physics. But if you do not have specialized interest in physics, you want to study law, psychology, or mix of it, you should be allowed to do so. When we talk about multidisciplinarity, then this is the option. Option should be with our students. They are our dear students, and it is our responsibility to give such students to the society and India, which India expects us to do so. This is very important. So if I have special interest, I am studying physics, but I have special interest in psychology, I should be allowed to study psychology also. I can take all subjects from physics or all subjects as generic electives from psychology, or mix of it. Ability enhancement courses, environment, languages. India is a country where we have so many languages. Language means the culture, language means the literature, language means the total lifestyle. And we want to take advantage of all the languages. And students should decide. If they want to study Hindi, they should study Hindi. If they want to study English, they should study English. If they want to study Sindhi, they should study Sindhi, or they should study Sanskrit, or they should study Malayalam, Tamil. And this model, proposed model, is student-centric and India-centric. Skills, entrepreneurship, internship, apprenticeship. 6 months are not sufficient. Only on weekends are not sufficient for specialized skills. We say it should be a continuous process. It should go for 1 year, 2 years, then 3 years. That's why a proper space has been given for this. Then the value-added courses. Sports, culture, Indian knowledge system. In Delhi Technological University, we have implemented so many such courses and results are very good. If DTU can do it, why can't we do it here? You know, when I joined Delhi Technological University, then sports persons came to me that students are not coming to the grounds, our grounds are neglected. Pankaj, you have taken some steps. What steps you have taken? They could not answer this. Then we introduced sports, 2 sports courses. Nothing should be extracurricular. Now, national education policy is also saying this. Everything should be in the curriculum. Culture should be, why culture should be extracurricular? It should be in the system. And when we introduce, you will be surprised to know, now you will find thousands of engineering students on ground. Our purpose is not to produce Olympians. No, that's not the purpose. Sports for life. A good sportsman has sportsman's spirit और उसके बहुत सारे फायदे हैं. Now thousands of students are taking such courses. So we really don't know what will happen. When we will roll out this, many new things will emerge. We will keep on, our National Education Policy Cell will keep on working on those aspects and outputs of such experiments. Now the 176 credits. To implement in true sense, now many people are saying I want to stop this debate that 176 credit means it has an impact on the jobs of the teachers. How can it is possible? You were teaching 3-year undergraduate program with 132 credits or 140 credits. Now this is 176 credits. But you want to make reference to 196 credits. But you know, this is a student-centric approach. So many options will be available to students. So many new sections for teaching learning process will emerge, and we will need more teachers. Why should we reduce or take any step which is against the interest of the teachers? Why should? We all are here, please remember, my dear teachers, we all are here for our students. This is, and our national responsibility is to produce such students who will create future for India, who will transform India. It means what? 176 credit has nothing to do with it. Please don't worry about it. Yesterday also I told, today also I'm telling that no job reductions. It has nothing to do with the recruitment. And we are ready to give you this in writing also. We are ready to issue such notification also. Nothing will happen, don't worry about it. Please come out of this. Try to understand the spirit of the national education policy. National education policy has not been designed to take jobs of the teachers. कैसी बातें सोचते हो? Please don't think about that. But 176 credit has implication on direct teaching. Direct teaching means what? Engagement of students in a week. Worldwide education expert says in India, most of the time students are engaged in classes and tutorials. They don't have time for laboratories. They don't have adequate times for research. They don't have adequate time for skill courses. They don't have adequate time for other such activities. But NEP talks about holistic development. NEP talks about multidisciplinarity. NEP talks about interdisciplinarity. I am a student of journalism, but I have some interest in law. I should be allowed to study law. Why not? When we were students, we were working in silos, tight compartments, engineering student. And I was a student of computer engineering. I was not allowed to see mechanical. I was not allowed to see civil engineering. I was not allowed to see biotechnology laboratories. No, that things are not for you. Why not? Now education policies encourages and say, please, we should have a liberal structure depending upon the student's capacity and interest. It should revolve and evolve around that. Students are intelligent. They are worried about their career and future. And Indians have done extremely well also. Then they should be, in our education system should also be flexible. Our education system should also be reasonable and give opportunities to our students. So students should get adequate time for peer learning, project experiments, cultural and sports activities. If you say 196 or 200 credits, it means what? Theoretically, students will be engaged at least for 6 to 7 hours a day in the classrooms or the tutorials or laboratories. But learning is not only in the laboratories, it is also outside laboratory. And in this world, changing world, there are a good number of opportunities for learning. When we say we want to get rid of rote learning, how? We want to promote conceptual learning, how? This is the challenge where our teachers should play a very, very significant and important role here. How to design a curriculum and teaching pedagogy for that. और हम कहीं गलत डायरेक्शन में गोल मारने लगातार. Don't worry, nothing will happen. So please think about its correct implementation. Please think about the various ways for its implementation. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't think and create that environment which is not good. So this, please remember this. This is very important. इसीलिए किसी ने जब कहा ना कि खुदा हमको ऐसी खुदाई न दे कि अपने सिवा कुछ दिखाई न दे. खुदा हमको ऐसी खुदाई न दे कि अपने सिवा कुछ दिखाई न दे. खतावार समझेगी दुनिया तुझे, जरूरत से ज्यादा सफाई न दे. मुझे खुद लग रहा है मैं कसूरवार हो रहा हूँ, जितनी सफाई दे रहा हूँ. कि खतावार समझेगी दुनिया तुझे, जरूरत से ज्यादा सफाई न दे. ये सफाई देने की जरूरत क्यों पड़ रही है मुझे? इसलिए पड़ रही है कि हालात ऐसे बना दिए. Unnecessary. Please don't worry. Don't worry. I want to end this debate. That please don't worry. It has nothing to do with recruitment. It has nothing to do with the teaching load. No load will be reduced. अगर किसी को reduction हुआ, so you can immediately contact university. Nothing will happen. Don't worry. इसीलिए अच्छे मन से अच्छा सोचो, बड़ा सोचो, जो चाह रहे हैं वो सोचो. नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी बनाने वाले. This is very important. And we have to prepare students who love India, Indian value systems, collaborations, cooperation, compassion. We don't want to produce selfish and arrogant students. No, we don't want. We want to work on that. अभी क्या है, छोटा बच्चा होता है, माँ बोलती क्या उसको कि बेटा ऐसा है, ये असाइनमेंट मत दिखाइए अपने दोस्त को, तेरे नंबर कम आ जाएंगे. रोज होता है. माँ तैयार कराती है, वो कहती है बच्चे को नाना ये मत दिखाना उसको. उसके मन में शुरू में आ जाता है, अरे ये तो मेरा कॉम्पिटिटर है. दूसरी क्लास का बच्चा है, वो अपने दोस्त से भी छुपा लेता है कि मैं करके नहीं आया आज एक्सपेरिमेंट में, ये असाइनमेंट नहीं करके आया, ये करके नहीं. हमने बच्चे को बचपन से ही इतना सेल्फिश बनाने के सारे इंस्ट्रूमेंट हैं हमारे पास कि उसके माइंड को एक अच्छा बच्चा माँ दे के गई थी हमें, हमने खराब कर दिया उसका बच्चा. और 23 साल बाद जब उसके पास जा रहा है तो वो उसको ही आग दिखा रहा है. तो बच्चे का कसूर बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. हमें सोचना तो चाहिए ना, इतने कंपटीशन की जरूरत क्या है. कोलैबोरेशन सिखाते, टीम में काम करता, सीखता. और इतना सेल्फिश, बट आफ्टर कम आउट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटी एवरीवन एक्सपेक्ट्स अस टू वर्क इन ए टीम. आपने उसको ट्रेनिंग तो दी नहीं थी टीम की. एंड वर्ल्ड वाइड people say Indians are best individual performers, but when it comes to work in a team, their performance reduces immediately because we are not trained to work in a teamwork. दुनिया तो टीम में ही चलती है. एजुकेशन सिस्टम इंडिविजुअलिज्म को बढ़ावा देता है. सोसाइटी चाहती है कि ऐसा आदमी मिले जो सबके साथ मिलके काम करे, पर हम तो कभी करते नहीं इस तरह का, सोचते भी नहीं कभी अपने बच्चों को. मैंने एक बार एक एक्सपेरिमेंट किया. मैंने क्लास में क्या होता है, आपको भी ध्यान होगा, कोई कोई स्टूडेंट ऐसे होते हैं जिनको बहुत बोलने की आदत होती है. आप जब आंसर शीट उनको दो तो हमेशा आ जाएंगे भाग के कि नहीं सर मेरे नंबर कम आए हैं, जरा देख लो इसको, नंबर तो मेरे कम आए हैं. तो मैं ऐसे बच्चों को आइडेंटिफाई कर लेता हूँ. 3, 4, 5 बच्चे होते ही हैं क्लास में ऐसे. तो मैंने जान के ना उनको रीटोटलिंग गलत कर देता हूँ। किसी के 18 आ रहे थे तो 20 दे दिए उसको, जान के। किसी के 22 आ रहे थे तो 25 दे दिए। आप देखो, मैं उसके एक्शन देखता हूँ जब वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करता हूँ। मैं देखता हूँ वो देखता है, चेक करता है, उसका चुपचाप कॉपी छुपा लेता है, किसी को नहीं दिखाता। आज तक कोई बच्चा वापस नहीं आया 2 नंबर एक्स्ट्रा मिलने पे भी, ये मेरे नंबर ज्यादा आ गए। उसने सोचा सर को पता नहीं लगा। अरे सर को तो सब पता लगा, सर ने कहा नहीं कुछ। तो बच्चे का कसूर है कि आपने एक एक नंबर के लिए सारा सिस्टम खड़ा कर दिया। आज समय है इसको बदलने का, इसको सोचने का कि वो अपने दोस्तों को दोस्त समझे। आपने दोस्तों को कॉम्पिटिटर बना दिया पहले दिन से। ये कोई बिजनेस थोड़ी हो रहा था। ये जो बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट एजुकेशन में क्रिएट किया हमने, उसके लिए हमें सोचने की जरूरत है। शिक्षा तो शिक्षा है, शिक्षा बिजनेस नहीं है। ये 176 क्रेडिट और 196 क्रेडिट और ये सब, ये बहुत छोटी बहस है। इससे तो आपको बाहर आओ, इसको हमें रास्ता बताओ, हम कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करें इसको ठीक से, कैसे कोर्सेज बनाएं, कैसे पढ़ाएं, कैसे चलाएं। इंपॉर्टेंट वो है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है। That's why, we don't want to produce selfish students. We want to produce dear students, respectable students, and teachers should play a very, very important role here. That's why, please think beyond recruitments. I just want to narrate a story. There is a university in US, Stanford University. बहुत सारे लोगों को नाम सुना होगा. It was established in 1890. And in 1892, one student took admission. In those days also, he took admission in mining engineering. In those days also, the fee of Stanford University was $2,000. वो बहुत गरीब बच्चा था, उसके पास पैसे भी नहीं थे, parents भी नहीं थे उसके. So when he was 7 years, he lost both the parents. But he took admission. Then he thought, how should I earn money to pay my fees and also, to meet out the other expenditures? Then he and his friend decided to organize a concert in Stanford University. And there was a very famous pianist in those days, Paderewski. He was a known pianist. These two students, they contacted the Paderewski and said, sir, we want to organize a concert in Stanford University. He said, I will charge $2,000. Monica, no, we will pay you $2,000. Don't worry about it. $2,000. Concert was organized. It was a big hit and success. But they could collect money from selling the tickets and all, only $1,600. तो उनका तो पर्पस डिफीट हो गया कि $1,600 मिला और 2,000 चाहिए थे, उसको ही चाहिए थे, तो उनको तो कहाँ से फीस के लिए मिलना था. They went to Paderewski and said, sir, this is $1,600 and also this is a check of $400. We will pay you this. We don't have that money right now, but we will call you, and after that you should deposit this check. There is no date on the check. Paderewski asked why, what happened. They narrated the whole story to Paderewski. Paderewski ने कहा कि बेटा ले जाओ, तुम अपने पास रखो, कोई ऐसी बात नहीं, फीस दो, मुझे कोई जरूरत नहीं है. बात खत्म हो गई. This was somewhere in 1892. देखो छोटे बच्चों के मन पे कैसे फर्क पड़ता है. फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर हुआ 1892 में. In the First World War, and during this First World War, Paderewski became the Prime Minister of Poland. And we know what happened to Poland in the First World War. Poland was ravaged twice, one from left to right and then right to left. 10 lakh people were in trouble. Their life was at stake. They were not having drinking water, medicines, and so many other things. So the Prime Minister Paderewski approached the US Food and Relief Administration for some help. When Paderewski went there, the in charge met him, and he was totally convinced that we should help. Immediately, US help was provided to Poland, and 10 lakh people life could be saved. Now was it? Whole world was surprised. What happened to US? This aid, which was for many countries, the aid was given to Poland. After the war, Paderewski came, met that person. तो उसने कहा, सर आपने तो मुझे पहचाना नहीं है, मैं वो बच्चा हूं जिसकी आपने मदद की थी. पर वो कोई खास बात नहीं है कहानी की. कहा मैं वही बच्चा हूं जिसकी आपने मदद की थी. तो उसने उसकी मदद वापस कर दी. लेकिन द पॉइंट इज, जो एटीट्यूड डेवलप हुआ उसका टू हेल्प अदर्स, he became 31st president of United States of America, Herbert Hoover. The name of the student is Herbert Hoover. He was a big businessman. He became a big businessman. उसने इतनी help करने की policies implement करी and schemes implement करी, we can't even imagine that. With this attitude which was developed in the university, Stanford University, he not only became the president of US, but also a very popular president of United States of America, Herbert Hoover. That is the power. So just help someone without expecting anything in return. World is a wonderful place. What goes around usually comes around. अच्छा करोगे तो अच्छा बोगे. So we should learn to plant the seeds of goodness. लेकिन हमने तो कभी अच्छाई को बोना सिखाया नहीं, कभी स्टूडेंट्स को सिखाया ही नहीं. अच्छाई पे तो कोई प्रीमियम ही नहीं है, मार्क्स पे प्रीमियम है सारा. क्योंकि हम एज ए पेरेंट्स ऑल्सो, क्योंकि उसी सिस्टम से आए हैं तो हम भी वैसा ही करते हैं. सो आवर करिकुलम शुड प्रमोट कोलैबोरेशन, कोऑपरेशन, कोऑर्डिनेशन एंड कंपैशन. Always remember, a team is not a group of people who work together, but it's a group of people who trust, respect, and cooperate each other. I repeat, a team is not a group of people who work together, but it's a group of people who trust, respect, and cooperate each other. Trust, respect, and cooperate. वो नहीं है तो टीम बनने का कोई फायदा ही नहीं है. If we don't respect each other, trust each other, cooperate each other, तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. It is counterproductive. क्या हम शिक्षा में सिखाते हैं ऐसा? मैं तो कुछ क्वेश्चंस छोड़ रहा हूं आपके लिए, क्योंकि करिकुलम का ये जो ब्रॉड फ्रेमवर्क इज फाइन, इसको भरना भी तो है ना नेक्स्ट स्टेप में. We have to design courses, such courses in and around the spirit of national education policy. It's a big job, and we are very grateful to the God that they have given us this opportunity to do so for our country. And if in the beginning also I said, if we fail to do so, those who will follow us will not forgive us. एक मौका अच्छा था, सरकार भी थी, यूजीसी भी थी, सब चाहते थे कि हो जाए, हम फिर भी नहीं किया. मैं मानता हूं कि ऐसा होगा नहीं, हम करेंगे. So we should think beyond credits. We should think beyond jobs. We should think beyond recruitment. उनका कोई adverse impact नहीं है. And I hope that we all will think with right perspective and in the right direction for the welfare of our dear students, for the welfare of coming generations, for the welfare of India. Because when India will be a developed nation without this NEP also. Please remember, India will be a developed nation without NEP also. The parameters of the development, India will be in another 10, 15 years, we will be a developed nation. But sustainability of development, developed nation, मैंने कल भी कहा था ना, जो इमारत जितनी बड़ी होती है उतनी खतरे में होती है. We need such people. We need sons and daughters of India, those who can implement this. Those who will serve the country, those who will save the country in difficult times. नहीं तो पहले जो हुआ था ना forefathers के टाइम पे दोबारा ना हो जाए. ये जिम्मेदारी है हमारी. NEP से डेवलपमेंट का कोई लेना देना, आप मानो ना मानो, वो तो हमने हो ही जाना है, इसके बिना भी हो जाएंगे. Sustainability is a big issue. इसीलिए ऐसे राष्ट्र प्रेम से भरे हुए लोग राष्ट्र को अच्छा अपना मानने वाले, उसके खिलाफ कुछ ना करने वाले लोग यदि हम तैयार करेंगे, यही एनईपी का ऑब्जेक्टिव है। उसका एक इम्प्लीमेंटेशन प्लान हमने दिया है। आपके जो भी सुझाव होंगे आप दीजिएगा। थैंक यू, थैंक्स।
Thank you so much, sir, for such a lucid lecture. It was truly motivating. I'm sure that the knowledge shared by you today is going to help all the participants in understanding the draft in the right spirit and the structure proposed as well. Now, I see, sir, a few pointers in the QA section. If you allow, shall we take the question answers right away, or shall we postpone it to the end of the lecture series right away, or right in the end? Whichever
So,
way.
Rama?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
मैं अभी भी दे सकता हूँ, बाद में भी, जैसे कहोगे, या तो बाद में इकट्ठे हो जाएं तो बेटर है, या जैसा कहो, नो प्रॉब्लम।
सर लेक्चर हो जाए पूरे तीनों।
सर क्वेश्चन आंसर मतलब प्रोफेसर रत्नावली हमारे साथ जुड़ी रहेंगी एंड तक, तो प्रोफेसर रत्नावली से करवा दें सर।
ठीक है,
इफ यू परमिट,
ठीक है
ना सर?
ठीक है,
प्रोफेसर रत्नावली है तो एक साथ जितने लेक्चर्स के क्वेश्चंस होंगे वो एक साथ
वो दे
एंड में ले
देंगे।
लेंगे।
ठीक है।
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request respected Miss Alka Kakkar, Vice Principal, Hansraj College, to propose the formal vote of thanks.
Namaskar. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks at the inaugural session of the 3 days lecture series on Delhi University Undergraduate Curriculum Framework 2022 under NEP 2020. On behalf of Hansraj College, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh, for accepting our invitation to deliver a lecture at the inaugural session. Sir, your thoughts on how the framework is intended to incorporate the spirit of the national education policy has set the tone for the next 2 days. Thank you for explaining how this India-centric and student-focused policy is being proposed to be rolled out at Delhi University for the next academic year under your dynamic leadership. You have outlined the broad contours of this holistic policy in most lucid, and I must say, a very heartwarming manner, how the policy is rooted in the Indian ethos, but at the same time aspires to revolutionize the education system in the country. Your inaugural address has added tremendous value to each one of us, and we are looking forward to listening to an august selection of experts who will discuss several nuances of the Delhi University undergraduate curriculum under the NEP. The series has been curated to ensure that our participants get a deep insight into the design of the proposed curriculum. As important stakeholders, it is very imperative that we understand the letter and spirit of the design of the new curriculum and its prospects. I would also like to thank our principal, Professor Rama, for her continuous support and encouragement. She has ensured that our college is at the forefront of these path-breaking initiatives even during these trying times. I would also like to thank Professor Ratnabali, Dean Academic Activities and Projects, for accepting our invitation. I would like to thank Professor Pankaj Arora and Professor Yukti Sharma from ILLL University of Delhi for partnering with us, and coordinators of Mahatma Hansraj Faculty Development Center, Dr. Jyoti Bhola and Ashutosh, and program in charge, Ms. Deepshikha Yadav, for making this endeavor into a success. Our gratitude to the non-teaching staff for all the logistic support. I would also like to thank all the participants from across India who are here to attend this 3-day lecture series. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Heartfelt gratitude to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving on, it's time to introduce our next eminent speaker for today, respected Professor K. Ratnabali, Dean, Academic Activities and Projects, University of Delhi. Professor Ratnabali is a professor of law at Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, and has numerous publications to her credit, including both journal papers and newspaper articles. Her research interest is interdisciplinary, where law intersects with other disciplines, right of nature, international humanitarian law, development and tribals' right to land. Her other administrative contributions are coordinator Vidya Vistar Scheme of University of Delhi since December 2020, Deputy Dean Planning and Coordinator in 2020-21, Deputy Dean Legal Affairs during 2015 to 18, and Warden Ambedkar Ganguly Students House for Women, Dhaka Complex from 2014 to 2020. It's an honor for us to have you on board with us, ma'am. Now I request you to take over and share your views on the draft. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jyoti. Respected Professor Yogesh Singh, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Pankaj Arora, Director ILLL and Dean Student Welfare, Professor Rama, Principal Hansraj College, Professor Niranjan, Dean Planning, Professor Ravi Tekchandani, Dean Recruitment and Promotion, organizing team from MHRFDC and ILLL, including Professor Yukti, faculty members, students, and all participants who are in different platforms, whether it is this online platform or on YouTube or Facebook. It is indeed, I would say, a privilege to introduce to you all in detail the undergraduate framework curriculum 2022, which has been already in the public domain since Friday, the 21st of January. And as we all know that this particular framework is, meant to capture the spirit of NEP. So the university has endeavored to restructure and redefine the undergraduate curriculum framework in line with the objective and philosophy of the national education policy. And I would like to put forth that our national education policy is a very comprehensive document. It talks a lot of things, very good things, I would say. But then when you want to implement such a very broad, policy, the implementation is not very easy. So we have tried our best in order to, capture the various aspects of NEP in this regard while framing the curriculum. And keeping that in mind, I would like to give my presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it is. It is.
Is it too small? Should I enlarge?
Yeah, if you could make it into a like the presentation mode, I think that will be live.
Slideshow mode, she means, I think.
Actually, this is a 1 second. Let me try a different one. Let me just give me a second. Is it better now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now, just having a look at the fundamental principles of NEP, if we see, it talks about student centricity, it talks about flexibility, and it talks about no hard separation among, arts and science discipline, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic streams. It also talks about multidisciplinarity and holistic education. It gives emphasis on research and innovation. It also wants to make the students grounded in ethics, human and constitutional values. It also talks about equity and inclusion in education. It talks about promoting multilingualism and conceptual understanding and critical thinking, among others. So, keeping in mind these fundamentals, we have, the university has come up with the national education, undergraduate curriculum framework 2022. Now, why we are, making this particular undergraduate curriculum framework? One might say that, there is already some, framework which has been floated, but then there are suggestions which has come from various quarters that one should, review the structure of this framework. Third point is that when we talk about framing this particular curriculum, we also need to have a look at the guidelines and regulations of the UGC, which relates to multiple entry exit scheme, which relates to academic bank of credit, or whether it talks about learning based outcome curriculum framework, or embedding within the degree, internship, apprenticeship, etc., and of course, SWAM. So keeping in mind all these points, the undergraduate curriculum framework has been brought forth. Now, what are the features of this undergraduate curriculum framework? One thing which you'll find is that we just have one common framework for all undergraduate programs. There is no multiple framework for different programs. And you will find the structure itself. We have tried to embed the fundamental principle, one of the principles of NEP, that is not to have hard separation between arts and sciences and, compartmentalization of these disciplines, as well as, the curricular and differentiation between curricular and extracurricular, vocational and academic streams. Now, so therefore, a student who is studying BSc Physics will be able to choose, say, a subject like German, language study. So that, say, for example, if he wants to go for higher studies in Germany, say, after completing his or her graduation, then maybe knowing that language will help. So this particular framework will give you that flexibility. Similarly, a student who is of BA English may choose Environment and Society, which is a generic elective paper offered by Environmental Studies under the Bachelor of Environmental Studies. Similarly, you can think about student of Bachelor of Management Studies being able to choose Natural Resource Management and Sustainability, which is taught under BSc Environmental Studies. So all these will be possible because of this curriculum, because it gives that kind of flexibility. Now, keeping in mind the student as the center and core of this particular framework, we'll see that there are various flexibilities given to a student. What are those flexibilities? One is that a student may opt for focusing on one particular discipline of study as a core subject and carry on with this 4-year program. Or he may choose multiple disciplines, more than one discipline as a core subject, and complete that 4-year program. He can also opt to study allied courses of selected discipline or diversify in other areas of disciplines. How he will do that? Because he is given certain choices at different semesters, either to go for a discipline specific elective or to choose a generic elective, which is offered by a different discipline altogether. Thirdly, you will find that student has been given the flexibility of choosing a skill enhancement course, or in the alternative, pick up internship, apprenticeship, project, or community outreach. So rather than sitting in a classroom and studying a skill enhancement course, he has the option to go out of the classroom and get hands-on experience through such kind of options. Fourth, in the 4th year of the program, a student is given the flexibility either to write a dissertation or choose for academic project or entrepreneurship. Fifth, you'll find that a student has been given the flexibility of earning 4 more credits or 4 credits less than the required credits per semester, so that a student is able to learn at his or her own pace or determine the amount of academic load he wants to take in a particular semester, so that he has the flexibility in order to go for some other, additional credit program in some other university, or take some hands-on experience or training in some other discipline outside the institution. Sixth, what you find is that the flexibility of exiting at the end of even semester, because as India, we know that there is a lot of plurality in our society. A student may be not in a position to continue the study from the first year to till the fourth year. There may be certain compulsions also, which may be because of different circumstances and reasons. But because of that reason, the students should not be dropped out of the academic course. So therefore, student has been given the flexibility to exit at the end of even semester and re-enter and complete the four-year program. Now, another feature that we see in the undergraduate curriculum framework is the multidisciplinarity. Now, every student pursuing an undergraduate program has to offer at least 4 elective courses from another discipline in the form of generic elective in the first 3 years of the undergraduate program. So, since this selecting these 4 elective courses from another discipline is mandatory, this will give a disciplinary approach, social sciences, humanities, or arts. Secondly, if a student chooses to make a discipline which is not his or her core discipline as a minor, he can do so by choosing to study at least 7 out of 12 generic electives. So, for example, if a particular student of economics wishes to, he or she is pursuing, honors course in economics, but he wants to say make minor in management, then in that case he has to choose generic electives, at least 7 papers of management which will be identified, and that will give management as a minor in his, he will have a minor in that particular management, even though he is otherwise having a honors degree in economics. Thirdly, a student is also given the option of writing dissertation on a topic on the major subject by choosing a topic belonging to the major subject or discipline, or the minor discipline, or a combination of the two. So if he or she writes a combination of the two minor and major subjects, a dissertation, that will also bring forth the interdisciplinarity or multidisciplinarity perspective. Next feature is the holistic education, which NEP so much envisages. We are talking about, uh, nurturing a student to become a well-rounded, competent person. So when we talk about a well-rounded, competent person, then there has to be, the education has to have that holisticness in its curriculum. So that's why, in order to bring in this particular perspective in the curriculum, we have pool of courses provided under ability enhancement course, skill enhancement courses, and value addition courses. So if you look at the ability enhancement courses, these are courses which are meant to bring or lead, to enhancement of knowledge in various areas of study, particularly environmental science and sustainable development, as well as ability in terms of language and literature. The skill education courses are skill-based courses and in all disciplines, and are aimed at providing hands-on training, competencies, and competencies. The value addition courses are value-based courses which are meant to inculcate ethics, culture, Indian knowledge systems, constitutional values, soft skills, sports education, and such similar values to student, which will help in his or her well-rounded development. So if you look at, I'm just giving you a snapshot of the first semester, first year of the undergraduate program. So you see the core courses are there, generic elective, which are meant to provide multidisciplinary education is there, ability enhancement courses are there, skill enhancement are also there, value addition courses are also provided. Now, in order to give hands-on learning or experiential learning, which is so very important because we have to move away from rote learning. We have to, build the capacity of a student to do experiential learning so that it stays with him or her, whatever he learns lifelong. So skill enhancement courses and interdisciplinary or internship, apprenticeship, project, community outreach are courses which are garnered towards providing hands-on or experiential learning. Such courses are embedded in the degree program itself as part of the curriculum rather than a choice or, a student, because otherwise in the present existing context, if you see, internship are picked up voluntarily in most of the cases by student, and they are done during the summer vacation. So here, if you look at the UGC guideline pertaining to internship and apprenticeship, it also intends that these internship and apprenticeship should be embedded, and this is what is located in this. Third thing is that if you look at the fourth year of the undergraduate program, a student need not pick up to write dissertation. He or she can also offer academic project. Next, we see is search and innovation. In order to have a very quality research, one has to have foundation in the research methodology. So therefore, keeping in mind this necessity to lay a strong foundation of research methodology as a course has been provided as generic elective in 6th semester as well as in 7th semester. Now, this course has been made mandatory for those students who wish to pursue. It's a highlight here that in case if a student who wishes to
रत्नावली जी, आपकी आवाज बहुत ब्रेक हो रही है. रत्नावली जी, for your voice is breaking for some time.
For some time.
या 5 मिनट से लगातार ब्रेक हो रही है. अब now it is little better. अभी भी नहीं आ रही है. No voice.
अभी भी नहीं आ रही?
अभी तो ठीक है.
Hello.
Now it's fine, ma'am. Now it's fine. Yeah.
So
now it's breaking again.
I am speaking. In case if I'm not audible, then
आवाज बिल्कुल नहीं आ रही है.
अच्छा. मैं कैसे करूं? Is it better?
Now it's better. Yeah.
Yes, it's better now. Professor Ratnavali, please continue.
I was saying that if my voice is not audible, the slides, the points which are presented in the slides are the ones which I am focusing in my, presentation. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. So what I was saying is that research and innovation is something that the NEP also focuses upon because it expects the students to do outstanding research. And in order to do an outstanding research, one has to have a very strong foundation on the research methodology part. So therefore, research methodology as a generic elective option has been given in 6th semester as well as 7th semester. And any student who wishes to pursue an honors with research has to mandatorily do this research methodology paper, opt for this paper. Second thing is that if you look at the whole of the curriculum, there are provisions for picking up projects or research in place of skill enhancement course in semester 3, 4, 5, and 6, which I will show in the table later. And to maintain quality of research, writing dissertation in the fourth year has been confined to only one dissertation. Because previously, if you look at the older framework, it talks about writing one dissertation on the major subject and one on interdisciplinary. So writing dissertation, quality research, it requires time and focus. So that's why this framework talks about writing one dissertation in the fourth year in case if a student opts for writing a dissertation. Now, one more thing which the NEP promotes, it's the multilingualism. So you'll find in the framework that every student in any undergraduate program shall be given the option to choose to study any language which are listed in the 8th schedule of our constitution in 2 semesters. One course will be in the first year and the other second course on the language will be in the second year. Now, mobility of students is one more thing which one will see. And mobility means that students will be able to exit and re-entry option are there at the end of every semester, as well as there'll be possibility of intra and inter-university mobility. Now, before we look at the framework, let's just have a look at the definitions of the terms that we are using. Discipline-specific core or DSC are courses of study which should be pursued by a student as a mandatory requirement of his or her program of study. These courses shall be appropriately graded and arranged across the semesters of study, and the discipline-specific courses are specified in the framework would be identified by the concerned department as core courses to be taught in a program. Now, what are discipline-specific electives, DSE? It is a pool of credit courses of that particular discipline, that in the case of a single discipline program of study, or it can be those disciplines when we are talking about multidisciplinary program of study such as BSc Life Sciences or BA Social Science or Big Humanities and so on, as the case may be, which a student chooses to study from his or her particular discipline. Third is generic elective. Generic elective is again a pool of courses which is meant to provide multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary education to students, and the GEs shall consist of a pool of courses offered by various disciplines of study, excluding the GEs offered by the parent discipline. When I say parent discipline, it is a core discipline. It can be in groups of odd and even semester from which a student can choose. Now, I would like to draw your attention to the yellow highlighted portion, which says that in case a student opts for discipline-specific electives beyond his or her discipline-specific courses of study, then such discipline-specific elective shall be treated as GE for that student. Say, for example, if a student of physics he opts for a specific elective of, say, environmental science, then in that case, even though that particular paper in the department, which is offered by the environmental studies discipline, it is a discipline specific elective, but it will be treated for that physics student as a generic elective. So by this particular provision, the pool of generic electives which are available to a student is expanded.
रत्नावली जी इसको फिर से रिपीट कर दीजिए. You are not audible. The yellow line, please give the example once more. You're not audible.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
रत्नावली जी येलो वाले का एग्जाम्पल फिर से रिपीट कीजिए. रत्नावली जी,
अच्छा ठीक है,
ये येलो वाले का एग्जाम्पल फिर से इनको
Yes.
बताइए क्योंकि
Am I
किसी को
audible?
सुन. Now
Yes,
you
yes,
now
ma'am.
you are. Now you are.
हाँ, मैं दोबारा से बताती हूँ. Thank you. Please keep on telling me in case if I become inaudible. Huh?
आज मैं यही काम कर रहा
Right. So,
हूँ.
हाँ, ठीक. Thank you. So, yeah. So I was telling an example that if a student who is pursuing BSc honors in physics opts for discipline specific elective from environmental studies, even though it is a discipline specific elective of environmental studies, but for the student of physics who is opting for this paper, it will be treated as a generic elective because of the fact that this discipline specific elective of environmental studies beyond paper which is offered by another discipline. So therefore, for the BSc physics student opting the discipline specific elective of environmental studies, it will be a generic elective for him. So this way, the definition of GE, the pool of GE is being expanded by including within it all discipline specific electives offered by other disciplines than the one he or she is studying as a core discipline. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Achha.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, coming to the structure. So this is the common undergraduate curriculum framework. And you will find that in the first semester, there are 3 discipline specific courses which are to be studied, carrying 4 credits each. Then 1 generic elective, that means one elective from another discipline than the core, whether it is discipline specific elective or generic elective of another discipline. Then 1 ability enhancement course which is of 2 credit. Now this ability enhancement course will be either environmental studies and sustainable development paper or in Indian language course which is specified in the 8th schedule of our constitution. Either of the two will be taught in the a student can choose in fact from the pool, right? Now, then if you come to the skill enhancement course, again, this will be again a pool of courses from which a student may choose. And then that is for 2 credit. Then we have value addition course, which is again a pool of courses from which one will be chosen for 2 credit. So if you look at the first semester, you have an array of subjects from core to generic electives to ability enhancement, skill enhancement, and value addition courses. And at the end of the semester, a student will be able to earn 22 credits. Now, same pattern we follow in the second semester. Again, the student will be able to earn 22 credit. So if a student has, here again ability enhancement course in the second semester will again be in case if a student has chosen environment in the first semester, he or she will study language in the second semester, right? So it is in the alternative. Student can decide to choose whether he would pick up language in the first semester or in the second and leave the environment for the next semester. Now, after completion of 1 year, a student, if he is able to get all the credits, he will secure 44 credits. And if he wishes to exit at this particular stage, he or she shall be awarded undergraduate certificate in that field of study or discipline. Now, for this, securing 44 credits is very necessary, even though there is a flexibility of earning 4 credit more or 4 credit less, which I have mentioned earlier. Now, coming to the second year, you will find that there are 3 discipline specific core, that is discipline specific core 7, 8, and 9. Now, in addition to this, we have given a flexibility here, if you see, either to go for a discipline specific elective one paper or opt for generic elective paper. Because sometimes it happens that student would not want to diversify. They want to focus on that particular discipline which they have chosen as a core discipline. So an option is given to a student to either choose for the discipline specific elective or go for a generic elective. Now, another AEC course is taught here. So in case in the first year, the environmental studies and sustainable development, that sustainability is paper 1 will be taught in the first year. Paper 2 of that environmental studies will be taught in the second year. And language 1 will be taught in the first year and language 2 again in the second year. So a student can choose whether to opt for that particular paper, language or environment, in the third or fourth semester accordingly. Now, one thing which I had pointed out previously in the slide pertaining to skill enhancement is that option flexibility is given here in the third and fourth semester. If you see, either a student can choose for one skill enhancement course or opt for internship, apprenticeship, project or community outreach. Again, this is for a 2 credit. One value addition course is also provided here in semester 3 and 4, which again is necessary in order to bring forth that element of holistic education. So in semester 3 and 4, a student will be able to earn 22 credits each. So if you add up at the end of 2 years, a student will be able to secure 88 credits. And if he or she exits at this stage, he or she shall be awarded undergraduate diploma in the field of study or discipline after securing the requisite credit. Now coming to the 5th and 6th semester, that is the third year. In the third year, 3 core papers will be taught along in semester 5, and the student has to pick up one discipline specific elective. He or she has to pick up again one generic elective and choose between one skill enhancement course or internship, apprenticeship, project or community outreach. Now, here if you see, again, generic elective paper which is placed here is a compulsory paper. There is no choice. So therefore, in 3 years time, what you will see is that 4 generic electives are to be 4 generic electives are going to be studied by the student without fail. Even though we have given the option here, if you go ahead in the previous slide, the generic elective and DAC, there is an option in 3rd and 4th, but GE has to be studied. 4 papers of GE has to be studied in 3 years. So at the end of 3 years, a student will be able to secure 132 credits. And if he exits at this particular stage, he or she shall be awarded bachelor in the field of study. Honors degree will be given in case a student has done undergraduate program in one single discipline. Say for instance, BA honors English or BAc honors chemistry. So if he or she picks one single discipline and completes the 6 semesters, get 132 credit, he or she shall be awarded Bachelor of Field of Study honors. But in case if a student has opted for a multidisciplinary study where he or she picks more than one core discipline, whether it is 2 or 3 discipline, in that case, a student on exit after 3 years shall be awarded a bachelor in the field of study or discipline degree only without honors. So this is a little difference that one can see in the degree. Now, if you come to the 4th year, In 7th semester, a student is going to study one discipline specific core. Similarly, in 8th semester also, he will study one discipline specific core. But here, a choice is given with respect to discipline specific elective or generic elective. So if you look at these two columns, in 7th and 8th semester where my cursor is, you will find that a student will be able to study all 6 papers in that particular discipline by picking up discipline specific elective. Or in case, say, if this particular student starts liking a generic elective paper of another discipline, which he studied in the previous 3 years, he may want to focus on that particular generic elective. Then in that case, he can opt for studying 6 generic electives of that discipline. So this flexibility is given to a student. But in case there may be students who would like to mix and match the two. So that's why these options are given. Either he can go for, instead of choosing all 3 discipline specific electives, he can go for 2 disciplines specific elective and 1 generic elective, or 1 discipline specific elective and 2 generic electives, and so on. So 7th and 8th semester, that flexibility is given to the student. Now coming to the right column, one can see that dissertation can be written on the major or on the minor topic, or it can be a combination of the two. Now, in a short while, I shall explain to you what is the meaning of major and minor. So, just for the time being, please bear with me and just keep in mind that 3 options are given: either to write dissertation, or go for academic project, or pick up entrepreneurship. So these are 3 different tracks which are available to a student in the 4th year. Now, if the student opts for writing a dissertation, he may do so on a topic pertaining to the major discipline, minor, or a combination of the two. Now, at the end of 4 years, a student will be able to earn 176 credits. Now, on exit, at this stage, after completion of 8 semesters, he or she shall be awarded honors with research in case if he or she was pursuing a single discipline program of study where he has already completed honors in 3 years, and in the 4th year, when he writes a dissertation, then in that case, such a student shall be awarded a degree, honors with research degree in that discipline. But in case if a student wishes, same student who picked up one discipline and then one discipline program and coming to the 4th semester, instead of writing dissertation, if he or she goes and chooses academic project, then he will be awarded honors with academic project, or it can be honors with entrepreneurship, depending upon what he or she chooses. Now, the common framework which I had just explained, how it would look in case if the core disciplines are more than 1. So if the core disciplines are, say, more than 1, there are 3 disciplines, say discipline A, B, and C, which is true in the case of undergraduate courses like BAc in Life Sciences, BAc in Social Sciences and Humanities, etc. You will find that there are 3 disciplines which are going to be studied as a core. So the framework would look like this. So 3 papers, 1 each of each discipline in the first semester. Second will be the second paper of each discipline. Third will be third paper of all the 3 disciplines. Fourth will be fourth paper of all the 4 disciplines, and so on. So 5th and 6th you'll find 3, 3, 3. So altogether for each discipline, 6 paper will be studied by the third year. Now coming to the discipline, specific elective for such a course, you will find that in semester 3 and 4, the discipline specific elective, it can be of A, B, or C. Depending upon the choice of the student, he can pick up any discipline specific elective or go for a generic elective, which is completely different from all the 3. So the generic elective will be a 4th discipline for such a student. So he has that option in 3rd and 4th semester to go for discipline specific elective belonging to any of the 3 discipline or opt for generic elective. And coming to the 5th year, he has to choose again one discipline specific elective in 5th and 6th semester in any of the 3 disciplines. But it is advisable that a student should choose that discipline specific elective of A, B, or C, any one of them which he or she wishes to take it forward in the 4th year. So keeping that in mind, if he makes a choice here, if he makes a choice in the 5th and 6th semester, then he would be able to get necessary, academic advantage as per the curriculum. Now, all other features of the framework remain the same, pertaining to, say, generic elective or ability enhancement, skill enhancement, value addition, all remains the same. Now, coming to the multidisciplinary courses program of study, the 4th year will be dedicated to only one discipline, because previously he or she was studying 3 disciplines. Now he has to pick up only one and study the discipline specific core papers of that discipline, A, B, or C, whatever he picks up. And then he has to study all 6 discipline specific electives of that discipline which he chooses to study in the 4th year, and write a dissertation on that particular discipline. So that, because at the end of the 4th year, he or she has to be given honors degree in this particular multidisciplinary study, and at the same time there is a provision for making that particular subject which he chooses in the 4th year to be a major. So that's why more focus is given on one discipline in the 4th year in the case of those programs which are multidisciplinary in nature. Now, second illustration which I am sharing is where you have not 3 core disciplines, but there may be more than one core discipline. As you can see here, you can have English or Indian language or a core discipline as one core paper. Then you have discipline A or B, or it can be A1 and A2 also. It can be one discipline or 2 discipline, but it is combined with an English or Indian language or another core discipline. So if you look at this framework, which can be, say, more or less, this framework which I'm illustrating will look akin to those programs which are currently run as BA program or BAc program of study. So here in this particular framework, as you can see, all other remains the same, except that if you go to this, the discipline, there are 2 disciplines, A and B, which is carried forward and till 3rd and 4th semester, till 5th semester, 6th semester, as you can see, 5th and 6th. So you're continuing with that particular course subject. Now, coming to the 4th year, you will find that the student can focus on one of the core discipline and then study those discipline specific electives and write dissertation. And at the end of the 4th year, he or she will be able to secure 176 credit, and he or she shall be awarded bachelor, in the field of study honors, or if it is honors, it can be, if it is done with academic project, it can be honors with academic project or entrepreneurship, But in such a case, a student won't be able to have a major, because writing dissertation on that discipline is important to get a major, which I'll explain in the coming slides. So some important points which are to be noted, which I have already explained, how environmental science and sustainable development and language courses are, to be picked up in the first and second year. This I've already covered. Major, yes. What is major in the discipline for a single core discipline UG program, like say BA honors in Hindi or BSc honors in physics, right? In such kind of courses where you are picking only one core discipline in the UG program, then in that case, major will be defined in the following manner. So he or she, a student, has to secure in that discipline at least 50% total credits. That means, as we know, the total credit is 176 at the end of 4 years. So he or she has to get at least 88 credits in that discipline. Even though there is a provision for diversifying in the generic elective, but in order to say that this is a major discipline, he has to have that 88 credits. Then how will he earn these 88 credits? So that he can easily do by selecting 20 discipline-specific core courses and at least 2 discipline-specific electives in 8 semesters. Right? So as an example, I have given that a student who pursues BCom honors shall be able to earn minimum 88 credits. If he is able to earn 88 credits from 20 DSCs and at least 2 discipline-specific elective, then he will get a major in commerce. Now, how major is defined for multiple, core disciplines, where we have more than one core discipline in a program. For that, honors degree with a major in a discipline will be given if a student secures in that discipline 80 credits. Now, I would like to highlight here that in the previous one, the focus was that the number of credits required was 88, but in multiple core discipline programs, it is 80 credits out of a total of 176. So a student shall study for getting these 80 credits, 6 discipline-specific core and at least 3 discipline-specific electives out of 4 in that discipline in the first 6 semesters, meaning thereby in the first 3 years. And in the 4th year, he has to select 2 discipline-specific core and then 6 discipline-specific electives and write dissertation on a topic pertaining to that discipline in the 7th and 8th semester. Then only he or she will be able to get that 80 credits, and that discipline will be considered to be a major for such a student. So, yeah. So he shall study 6 discipline, at least 6 discipline-specific core and at least 3 discipline-specific in that discipline in the first 6. And I have explained it, I repeat it out here, so one may ignore that. Yeah. So in the case, this particular example which I am telling is, relevant for courses like BA Social Sciences, Oblique Humanities, BSc Life Sciences, BCom, BCom, Bachelor of Commerce Studies, and such other programs. Okay. Now, coming to the definition of minor, what is a minor discipline? So minor in a discipline is defined for a single core discipline UG program. If a student earns minimum 28 credits from 7 GE courses of that discipline, then he or she will get minor. Now, so that means there are 12 GE courses. Out of that, a student has to compulsorily pick up minimum 7 GE papers of that discipline in order to make it a minor. For example, if a student pursuing BA Honors History chooses 7 generic elective courses of political science out of a total of 12 GE courses and writes dissertation, he or she shall be awarded on successful completion of 8th semester, major in history and minor in political science. Now, this is for single discipline. Now, what happens to the definition of minor when we talk about multiple core discipline undergraduate program? So, minor in a discipline may be awarded for such multiple core discipline UG program if the student earns minimum 28 credits from 6 discipline specific course and 1 discipline specific elective of that discipline. As we already know, if you just refer back to the structure, excuse me, 6 discipline specific core of a particular discipline will be studied in the first 3 years. So if he chooses 1 discipline specific elective of that particular discipline, that will be able to give the number of credits required for indicating that discipline as a minor. So I've explained through an example. Excuse me. Now, if you look at the definition of minor for multiple core discipline undergraduate courses, this definition is independent of the generic elective as done in a single core discipline UG program. For single core UG program, you needed the generic electives to make a subject a minor. But in the case of programs which are multidisciplinary, in that for such a program, minor, for the computation of minor, we are looking at the disciplines that the student studies as a core, along with the discipline specific elective studied by that particular student. So the concept, further I would like to emphasize on the last point, that is, concept of minor or major is relevant only in the 4th year. And if there is no major discipline made out, there is no relevance of a minor. So only when there is a major discipline, then the concept of minor is relevant. Some more importance which are to be noted is that when we talk about writing a dissertation or doing an academic project or entrepreneurship in the 4th year, it commences from the 7th semester and conclude in the 8th semester. So this does not mean that assessment will be done in the 8th semester only. No, assessment will be done at the end of 7th semester as well as in the 8th semester. Now, how is the assessment going to be done? Assessment will be done on the basis of a detailed outcome of each track chosen out of these 3 options, and those outcomes shall be notified and assessment will be done accordingly. And as I had mentioned, dissertation may be written on major, minor, or a combination of the 2. Design of degrees, I have already explained. I explained that for single discipline program, honors degree will be awarded at the end of 3 years. In the case of multiple discipline program, honors will be awarded only at the end of 4 years, which I have already explained. This also I have already explained. Yeah. Now, one more thing which I would like to highlight is that the last point here in this slide, if a student is able to earn 28 credits, from academic project or entrepreneurship, he or she shall be given minor in that academic project or minor in entrepreneurship. Now, question arises as to how can a student get 28 credits in academic project? Because in the 7th and 8th semester, the total credit for academic project is 12. Now, the rest of the credit will be earned from specific GE, that is generic elective, or skill enhancement course or value addition course, etc., which will be given in a bundle as a module. So if a student is able to do that module and opt for academic project or entrepreneurship and secure 28 credits, he or she shall get minor in academic project or minor in entrepreneurship. Now, this is the qualification type and credit requirement, which I already explained while looking at while explaining the framework. I have told you how much credit are required if you exit, and what kind of award or a certificate will be given to you at the end of even semester when you exit. So this, I did not focus much on it. Now, that's all regarding the undergraduate program, UGCF 2022. Now, the following slides are meant to tell, what is the difference between the UG program structure that was placed before AC and EC and the new UG curriculum framework. What is the difference between the two? So I'm just putting down few points which I could, find out by examining or comparing these two. One is that if you look at the old UG program structure that was placed before ACEC, it talks about 3 different types of programs. One is 3-year honors program, 4 years honors in a discipline, 4 years honors in a discipline with research. These are the 3 kind of program. Whereas if you see in the new UG framework, what you find is that you can either have a 3-year degree program in case of multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary programs where you have more than one core discipline, or in case if it is a single core discipline UG program, you get straight away honors degree after 3 years. After 4 years, in case of multidisciplinary, you get honors. And then at the end of 4 years for single, core discipline, you get honors with research or honors with academic project or honors with entrepreneurship, depending upon what the student chooses in the 4th year. Now, in the 4-year program, if you compare the framework pertaining to one core discipline 4-year program, what you find is that in the old structure, there are 14 discipline specific core which are to be studied. And whereas in the new curriculum, you find that there are 20 discipline specific core papers which are to be studied. Now, I would like to point out that all discipline specific core and discipline specific electives in the old structure is of 6 credit, whereas in the UG curriculum framework, it is for 4 credit. And 4 credit is an internationally accepted norm. And when we are talking about mobility of students, whether inter-university in India or outside India, then in that case, it is very important to make our credits in tandem with those which are followed outside the university and outside the country. So that's why the 4 credit has been taken, but you see the number of courses. One, in the case of old structure, you have 14 DSC, whereas in the new one you have 20. There are 4 discipline specific electives, and in the new curriculum you have 2 to 10 discipline specific electives, depending upon the choice of the student, whether he would like to only opt for the 2, which is mandatory, or go up to 10. That is his choice. Third is, if you look at the old program structure, it has 8 generic electives which are to be compulsorily picked up, whereas in the new structure you have minimum 4. But if you don't want to go ahead with the generic elective, then you need not. But if you are liking it, then one can go from 4 to 12 generic electives. So that is the kind of flexibility that you see. Now, in the old structure, what you find is that there is no uniformity of credits, in terms of those courses listed as value addition course. In some courses, it's given as 2 credit. For courses, some other courses, it is 4 credits. So there is no uniformity in credit. But if you see the new structure, whether it is ability enhancement course or skill enhancement course or value addition course or internship project, community outreach, for every such kind of course, it is a uniform credit of 2, not more than that. Then you have language and literature. One is put in the old structure under ability enhancement compulsory course. And this same second part of the same paper, that is language and literature 2, is put under value addition course. So you find that one course is put in AC in one semester, and the same part 2 of the same course is put in value addition course in the another semester. But you will not find this inconsistency. You'll find that in the new curriculum, both languages are put under ability enhancement courses. Third point is that the credit distribution is not uniform in the old structure. Because if you see credits,
रत्नावली जी, आपकी आवाज
you
नहीं
see
है।
that there is uniform credit throughout.
Ratnavali ji, you are not
Acha,
audible.
acha. I'm not audible now also?
And now you are fully audible. Perfectly all right.
I was just trying to tell the points which are highlighted in yellow, the distinction between the UG program structure, old one, and the new one. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. You are.
तो मैं ये कह रही थी कि दोनों में जो है क्या डिफरेंस है। एक तो यूनिफॉर्मिटी है और जहाँ जो कोर्स जिस सेक्शन में है वहीं पर है, और हर सेमेस्टर में यूनिफॉर्मली 22 क्रेडिट्स है। देयर इज नो डिफरेंस इन क्रेडिट, सारे सेमेस्टर्स में 22 है। Now, if you look at the old structure, and particularly if you look at one core discipline 4-year program, skill enhancement are provided only in the first year. This is semester 1 or 2. 1 and 2 may provided as skill enhancement. But if you look at the new curriculum, skill enhancement courses are provided in all the 3 years, first year, second year, third year. So, because the focus is on experiential learning, unless you do experiential learning, then you don't remember, students don't tend to remember for long whatever they have learned. So therefore, skill enhancement courses are very important. It also improves the employability of the student, as well as it may also lead to certain startups and innovation later on when we talk about skill enhancement leading to entrepreneurship in the 4th year. Now, if you come to the old structure, it talks about honors without research. 4th year maybe honors without research is contemplated in the old structure, wherein a student has to study 2 discipline specific elective and 4 generic elective compulsorily, and write 2 dissertation, one dissertation on major and the other dissertation on interdisciplinary. Right? Now, if you come to the new framework, what you find is that honors degree for a core discipline, single core discipline course is awarded after completion of 3rd year. He doesn't have to wait for the 4th year to get an honors degree. But if the same student goes and does the 4th year of the program, then what he gets is honors with research. And in order to get that, he has to study 2 discipline specific core, and then he has to opt for either 6 discipline specific elective or 6 generic elective. Again, there is a choice. There is no compulsion to pick up some papers of some other discipline. So it's up to the student whether to go for diversification or a mixture of the two, whatever he desires. So that's where you see that flexibility here also. Then third point is that not just honors with research, there is a possibility of getting honors with academic project or honors with entrepreneurship in case if the student decides not to write the dissertation and opt for the other two. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Now, I tried also to make a comparison between the structure which is meant for 3 core discipline in the old pro structure and the structure we have for 3 core disciplines. If you try to compare the two, what you see is that there are 14 discipline specific cores and discipline specific electives of the main discipline which will be studied. Whereas in the new curriculum, what you find is that a student will be able to study 16 to 18 discipline-specific core plus discipline-specific elective, minimum 16 and maximum 18. Now, in such the 3 core discipline program, you find that in the old structure, there are no generic electives courses which can be opted. There is nil. But in the case of the new framework, you have 4 generic electives. So a student who has opted for, say, BSc Life Sciences can still opt for arts subject, because, you know, no hard separation between science and arts. Remember that, which is there in NEP. So this aspect has been covered when we are giving that option to the student to do 4 generic electives. Internship, apprenticeship is not included expressly anywhere in the old structure, whereas you find that internship, apprenticeship, etc. is included. And the student, as per the old structure, has to write 2 dissertation. Now, 2 dissertation in 1 year, we all know that, you know, if you're going to give short time for doing a research on a topic, that research is not going to be of quality. So that is why this, instead of, you know, student being put under pressure to write 2 different dissertations, in the new program, he has to write only 1 dissertation. And there is no difference in nomenclature. If you go to the old structure, there are 2 different degrees. One is, say, for example, BA English honors 3 years, BA English honors 4 years, in case if it doesn't opt for research. So if you look at the nomenclature, it is quite confusing. You are writing honors, but 3 years. You're writing again honors, but it's 4 years. But in the case of the new framework, what you find is that there is less confusion, because for such 3 core discipline program, at the end of 3 years, no honors degree is going to be granted or awarded. Only a bachelor's degree will be awarded after 3 years, and honors degree will be awarded after 4 years of this program. So therefore, there is a very clear distinction between the 3-year program and 4-year program of 3 core discipline 4-year program. Now, I also...
excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, we have the next speaker in waiting. So if you could please wind up in 2 minutes. It would be
fine. This, I think 1 or 2 slides are only remaining. I can wind up.
Right.
I just happen to look at the structure of, you know, bachelor program, Bachelor of Commerce Studies. And what I find is that in the old structure, you have 12 discipline-specific core and electives, and in the new one, you have 18 to 26 discipline, you know, related papers. 8 generic electives are there, whereas you have 4 to 12 generic electives, where there is a range. Student can choose either to do only 4 or take up to 12. Then others, I think, are same. And 4th year, only 2 courses of commerce are studied in the old structure. In the new structure, minimum 2 and maximum 8 courses of commerce can be studied. Okay, this is the comparison. Now, suggestions are welcome. The draft document framework is available on the website of the university, and we have also given a link for submitting your feedback. So we would welcome feedback. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you so
all from
much,
my
ma'am.
side.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such a comprehensive outline of the proposed structure and making us understand the nitty-gritty so nicely. Thank you so much once again, ma'am. Now we welcome the next speaker of today's session, respected Professor Pankaj Arora, Dean Students Welfare, University of Delhi, and Director, ILLL, University of Delhi. Professor Arora is a professor of education at Central Institute of Education, Department of Education, University of Delhi. He has to his credit 8 books, numerous articles, and has presented papers in national and international conferences. Professor Arora has led various major and minor research projects funded by UGC, ICSSR, and University of Delhi. Recently, he has been chosen for National Education Day Award, Shikshak Kalyan Samagra, ALTTC, BSNL, Delhi. His areas of specialization include pedagogy of political science, adolescence education, social science education, and democratic education. He has been presented with significant administrative responsibilities over the past decade. The recent ones include Dean Students Welfare.
Dr. Jyoti, let's skip that. Yeah, already.
No, sir, I'll just take 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds.
Professor Pankaj, please.
जी नहीं, मैंने कहा काफी लोग
Sir, 30 seconds से ज़्यादा नहीं लूंगी, पक्का. He has been presented with significant administrative responsibilities over the past decade. The recent ones include Dean Student Welfare, University of Delhi, Director ILLL, University of Delhi, Member National Focus Group on Gender Education, NCRT, Visitor Nominee, Central University of Punjab, Member NEP Cell, Member UGC Expert Committee to formulate NHEQF, and Chairperson of DUDIS CAD Scheme of University of Delhi, and so on. So Professor Arora has recently done 2 edited books also on National Education Policy 2020, one in Hindi and one in English. The list of his contributions is endless, and without any further delay, as Sir has ordered, I would request him to present his views on today's theme and enlighten the participants. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Jyoti, for cutting it short. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, co-speaker for the day, Dr. Navli, organizers, Rama, Dr. Yukti, team ILLL, team Hansraj. It's really very, very difficult to speak at the end of the session for 2 reasons. One, attendees are getting impatient and they may stay, they may not stay because they have scheduled multiple things for the rest of the day. Number 2, after Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, beautiful explanation of the idea, ethos, as well as logistics of this Undergraduate Curriculum Framework 2022, and followed by the Chairperson of NEP Cell, Professor Ratnavali. She gave all the technical aspects, structures, including key terms and composition of papers, etc. So I think there is very little left for me, but I will try to do justice with that. So friends, this Delhi University Undergraduate Curriculum Framework 2022 is a pioneer and leading proposal for 4 years undergraduate program in the country. If we look at education policy, which is source and strength of this undergraduate curriculum framework, the key terms in education policy are multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity, skill enhancement, value addition of courses, promotion of constitutional values. So these few key terms have already been taken care while we were planning and designing this curriculum framework for University of Delhi as part of NEP Cell. University of Delhi has always been a leader in education, and we want to maintain that stature of University of Delhi. If I can see what I understand, I will not repeat the technical aspects which my colleague Professor Ratnavali has already explained comprehensively. But I will surely would like to discuss why University of Delhi should be leading and implementing it from 2022. First, any university, to my understanding, is known for its research, and already University of Delhi has recently been awarded Clarivate India Research Excellence Citation Award. So we have again proved that we are one of excellent research university in the country. Any university is known for its admission process, how transparent, objective, and time-bound it is, which our admission branch is looking after. Examination, how we are following the time-bound calendar, academic calendar of the students and declaring results on time. In this pandemic year, University of Delhi has led the country on the matters of open book examination, online examination. Internal assessment, making it public, is another feather in the cap of University of Delhi, because we display all the internal marks to the students before submitting it to the examination branch. So research, admissions, examination, these 3 are important aspects of any university, जिससे वो यूनिवर्सिटी की पहचान बनती है. And fourth and most important aspect is curriculum. Now we are talking of curriculum for 2022. Let me take you back to this journey. University of Delhi has, it's not that University of Delhi is coming out with this curriculum framework. In recent past, we have seen 2011 when University of Delhi has upgraded itself for semester model. 2014, we took over CBCS structure for undergraduate and postgraduate curriculum. 2019, University of Delhi not only followed learning outcome-based curriculum framework, but also did this marathon task in online mode without getting into all through virtual world. So that way, again, university proved itself as the leading institution. And now NEP-based curriculum framework from 2022. Again, we want to be #1 in the country. So with this background that universities are known for its research, its admissions transparency and objectivity, examination, time-bound manner, declaring results, these two branches are doing excellent work in their domain. Research Council is doing its job. Now academic branch, where this NEP cell is located, is also trying to make a pace with other 3 parameters for which a university is known. Now this 2000, I will just give you key components of this program. One is about the spaces. To my understanding, we have all been working on this curriculum structure for around 3 months now. And to my understanding, this curriculum is 100% student-centric. What for universities are there? To nurture students' potential and talent to maximum that society should be benefited out of their potential and talent. So this curriculum structures, if you ask me, what is the key feature? My #1 is student-centric. Student, which is an Indian student in Delhi University, we receive people from all walks of the country, from different sectors of the society. And we want to prepare students who are sensitive, who are empathetic, who are creative, who are intelligent, who have faith and confidence and knowledge of Indian ethos, Indian knowledge system, as well as Constitution of India. As Dr. Jyoti was mentioning, I am a person of education. So friends, in education, we learn that what is the aim of, what are the prime objectives of education? We say to maximum या optimum development of an individual. जैसे वाइस चांसलर सर ने कि वो जो 3 साल 2.5 साल का बच्चा हमें माँ दे के गई थी, उस बच्चे को 22-23 साल बाद हमने इस तरह से बना दिया कि वो माँ को ही नहीं पहचानता, माँ की बोली को ही नहीं पहचानता, उस वातावरण से डिस्कनेक्ट हो जाता है जिस वातावरण में उसकी जड़ें हैं, जिस इथॉस में, जिस फिलॉसफी में जो परिवार हमारे बने हैं, गढ़े हैं, उनसे हम अलग हो जाते हैं. तो एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने हमें इस सुनहरा मौका दिया है कि हम इस सारे जो जटिलताएं हैं शिक्षा की, इनमें से जितनी संभव हो, स्कोप अनलिमिटेड है, हमें तय करना है कि हम जितनी संभव हो एक राउंड में, जैसा अगेन आई विल कोट ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर सर, फर्स्ट ईयर में जब ये पहला साइकिल चलेगा तो साथ साथ इसमें हम गैप्स और इम्प्रूवमेंट एरियाज को भी देखेंगे. और साथ साथ ये एनईपी सेल कोई ऐसा नहीं है करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर दे के it will go on a sleep mode. No, it will be very, very alert, active, and trying to identify the parameters where we need to work for the next cycle. और ये एक साइकिल के बाद ही कोई भी एकेडमिक प्रोग्राम फुल स्ट्रेंथ होता है. तो एजुकेशन में जैसे मैंने कहा कि जो ऑप्टिमम डेवलपमेंट ऑफ इंडिविजुअल है, अगर आप पूछेंगे शिक्षा के उद्देश्य क्या हैं, तो फिजिकल डेवलपमेंट, मेंटल डेवलपमेंट, इमोशनल डेवलपमेंट, इंटेलेक्चुअल डेवलपमेंट एंड कॉग्निटिव डेवलपमेंट. तो ये जो डोमेन है डेवलपमेंट के, पॉलिसी ने इनको कैसे एड्रेस किया और क्यों हम इस अपॉर्चुनिटी को ना सिर्फ लेके चलना चाहते हैं बल्कि इस अपॉर्चुनिटी में हम एक लैंडमार्क रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली की लीड करने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को लेके चलना चाहते हैं। अगर मैं कहूं कि यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली का जो पॉलिसी एक बैलेंस देती है बिटवीन इंडियन इथॉस, इंडियन ट्रेडिशन नॉलेज और दूसरी तरफ 21वीं सदी का युवा, 21वीं सदी के युवा को हम कैसे देखते हैं, इंटरनेशनल चैलेंजेस क्या हैं उसके सामने, टेक्नोलॉजी कहां लेके जा रही है, तो पॉलिसी एक बैलेंस दोनों में समझाना चाहती है। भारतीय भाषाओं में और विदेशी भाषाओं में, अंग्रेजी में आगे बढ़ने की जो दूसरी संभावनाएं हैं उनमें एक बैलेंस बनाने का प्रयास करती है। इस करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर की ये एक खूबी है कि ये करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस को प्रमोट करने की बात करता है। भारतीय भाषाओं में जितनी भी भाषाएं हैं, आपसे कहा गया कि जो भाषाएं होंगी, और इस करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर में हमने लिखा है कि उनके टीचिंग अरेंजमेंट्स में यूनिवर्सिटी असिस्टेंस देगी कॉलेजेस को। तो हम सिर्फ 2, 4, 5 भाषाओं की बात नहीं कर रहे, नॉर्थ इंडिया की बात नहीं कर रहे, हम होल इंडिया के 8th शेड्यूल में दी गई भारतीय भाषाओं के प्रमोशन की बात कर रहे हैं। जो क्वालिटी रीडिंग्स हैं दूसरी भाषाओं में, इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लिखी गई हैं, इंडियन परिदृश्य में लिखी गई हैं, इंडियन स्थितियों में लिखी गई हैं, उन रीडिंग्स को हम इस करिकुलम के साथ जोड़कर न सिर्फ उन भारतीय विचारकों को एक मान्यता और एक युवा पीढ़ी से मिलवाने का काम करना चाहते हैं, बल्कि उन सभी रीडिंग्स के इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट के साथ अपने भारतीय बच्चों को, भारतीय युवा पीढ़ी को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि भारत किसी भी क्षेत्र में विश्व की किसी भी संस्था से, जैसे अभी कहा गया था कि भारत 15-20 साल में विकसित राष्ट्र होगा, तो ये विकसित राष्ट्र सिर्फ आर्थिक पैमानों पर होगा या शैक्षिक और सामाजिक पैमानों पर भी होगा। तो मुझे लगता है ये शैक्षिक और सामाजिक पैमानों पर भी आगे बढ़ रहा है। और नई शिक्षा नीति, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति, हमारे भाई निरंजन जी ने आज सुबह जो लेख लिखा उसको मैंने पढ़ा। भारतीय शिक्षा नीति रास्ता दिखाती है कि उस सामाजिक आर्थिक विकास के साथ साथ सामाजिक और शैक्षिक विकास को भी प्रोत्साहित किया जाए, आगे लेके अंतरराष्ट्रीय मानकों पर उसके साथ बढ़ा जाए। जॉब ओरिएंटेड एजुकेशन, वोकेशनल एजुकेशन, रिसर्च, इंटर्नशिप, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, ये सब कुछ हैं जिन्हें मेरी कोलीग रत्नावली जी ने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया कि 4 साल के इस प्रोग्राम में कैसे ये बच्चे ना सिर्फ इंटर्नशिप और एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के थ्रू हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस लेंगे, बल्कि साथ ही साथ उन्हें अपने वोकेशन का, अपने वोकेशनल एक्सप्लोरेशन का एक माध्यम बनाएंगे जब वो सुरक्षित हाथों में एक संस्थागत ढांचे में काम कर रहे हैं। तो उन्हें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी कि वो अपनी एबिलिटीज को, अपने इंटरेस्ट को और अपने जिस वोकेशनल रुझान को वो लेकर चल सके। जैसे मैंने कहा कि पॉलिसी और हमारा करिकुलम, हमारा से मतलब हम सबका, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली का, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली के स्टूडेंट्स का, टीचर्स का, नॉन टीचर्स का, दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी की कम्युनिटी का, जिन कम्युनिटी से हमारे बच्चे आते हैं, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स आते हैं। इसमें अगर हम देखें तो बहुत सारा समय, देखिए क्योंकि मैंने जैसे कहा मैं एक एजुकेशन का स्टूडेंट हूं, आई रिपीट कि एजुकेशन का स्टूडेंट होने के नाते हम होलिस्टिक और ऑलराउंड डेवलपमेंट ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी की बात करते हैं। Co-curricular activities are no more extracurricular activities. They are very much part and parcel of curricular activities. Even CBSE ने आज से 6-7 साल पहले जब continuous comprehensive तो फॉर्मेटिव असेसमेंट एंड सबमिटिव असेसमेंट के माध्यम से को-करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज को स्कॉलिस्टिक एक्टिविटीज का दर्जा दिया। अब यूनिवर्सिटीज का समय है जब यूनिवर्सिटीज अंडर ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम, मैं और आप में से बहुत सारे साथी इस बात से सहमत होंगे कि अंडर ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम एक पर्सनैलिटी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम भी होता है। उस समय हमारे विचार, हमारा व्यवहार, हमारी भाषा, हमारा प्रोफेशनल आउटलुक एक नई परिभाषा गढ़ता है। हम अपने आप से जूझते हैं और उस संघर्ष से निकलकर हम, क्योंकि स्कूल के जो डिसिप्लिन कल्चर है, जिसमें समय की बाध्यता है, यूनिफॉर्म की बाध्यता है, पीरियड्स की बाध्यता है, उन सब से जब निकलकर बच्चा एक स्वतंत्र स्वच्छंद वातावरण में आता है, तो उस स्टूडेंट को स्पेस हमें देना चाहिए कि वो को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज में जाए। वो लाइब्रेरी कब जाना चाहता है, उसके पास समय हो। वो रीडिंग्स को क्या महत्व देता है, उसके पास समय हो। पीयर डिस्कशंस में, peer discussion has always been an important and integral aspect of any individual's personality development. Now this peer discussion, अगर हम लगातार क्लासेस का स्ट्रक्चर देते हैं, 8 पीरियड एक दिन में, किसी भी इंटरनेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी में 4, 4.5, 5 घंटे से ज्यादा क्लासरूम इंटरेक्शंस के नहीं देने चाहिए, नहीं दिए जाते हैं। तो हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली के अंडर ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स को चाहते हैं कि वो चर्चा करे, अपनी सोच विकसित करे, रैशनैलिटी के साथ अपनी बात को आगे बढ़ाना सीखे, आर्गुमेंट करना सीखे, डिबेटिंग सोसाइटी में जाए, अटेंड करे सेशंस, दोस्तों के साथ समय बिताए, डिस्कस करे सेशंस। इन सब जो अलाइड एरियाज हैं, ऑल दीज आर कलेक्टिवली डेवलपिंग इंडिविजुअल्स पर्सनैलिटी। तो अंडर ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम में स्टूडेंट्स को स्पेस देना, स्कोप देना, सपोर्ट देना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। और इस करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर को हमने बनाते समय इन सभी पैमानों का बहुत महत्वपूर्ण तरीके से ध्यान रखा है। लिटरेरी सोसाइटी, स्पोर्ट्स, ये सब इस प्रोग्राम में आएगा। हमारे अपने बच्चे, मेरे परिवार के बच्चे, यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली के एक प्रोफेसर के परिवार के बच्चे जहां जाते हैं, जिन यूनिवर्सिटीज में हम में से बहुत सारे परिवारों को अपने बच्चों को विदेशी यूनिवर्सिटीज में भेजने का मौका मिला है। बहुत सारे हमारे परिवारों के बच्चे इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड करिकुलम्स को पढ़ रहे हैं। ये मौका हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी के बच्चों को क्यों नहीं मिले? वो इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड के करिकुलम को क्यों नहीं पढ़ें? वो क्यों रिसर्च राइटिंग ग्रेजुएशन लेवल पे ना सीखें? वो क्यों इंटर्नशिप के माध्यम से अपने रोजगार को ढूंढें और उसको जोड़ें? वो क्यों मल्टीपल एंट्री एग्जिट के माध्यम से अपनी जो सोशियो इकोनॉमिक कंडीशंस थी, फैमिली सिचुएशंस थी, अगर उसमें उसको एग्जिट होना पड़ा, तो ये ड्रॉप आउट जो बहुत बड़ी समस्या है विकसित देशों में शिक्षा के संदर्भ में, इस ड्रॉप आउट को हम वापस लाने का रास्ता क्यों ना खोलें? और उसको जो उसने इनपुट दिया 1 साल का, 2 साल का, 3 साल का, उसे हम एक्नॉलेज करना चाहते हैं इन द फॉर्म ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग अ सर्टिफिकेट, अ डिप्लोमा, अ डिग्री आफ्टर 1 year, 2 year and 3 year रिस्पेक्टिवली। ये कोई रास्ता पढ़ाई छोड़कर जाने का नहीं है। ये रास्ता मजबूरी में पढ़ाई छोड़ने पर आपके जो एफर्ट्स आपने दिए, जो समय दिया, जो ऊर्जा दी, जो धन खर्च किया, उसको एक्नॉलेज करने का है। और मल्टीपल एंट्री एग्जिट डॉक्यूमेंट यूजीसी का कहता है कि जब स्टूडेंट किसी भी कारण से छोड़ता है तो उसके डबल पीरियड के अंदर, अगर प्रोग्राम 4 साल का है तो टोटल 8 साल के स्पैन पीरियड के अंदर उसे अपनी डिग्री कंप्लीट करना है। 3 साल का है, 2 साल का मास्टर डिग्री है तो 4 साल में कंप्लीट करना है। 1 साल का मास्टर डिग्री है तो 2 साल में, यानी कि n into 2, not n+2. Earlier it was n+2. Now it is proposed to have more flexibility to students. और आपने अगर कभी सुना हो, मैं बहुत इस बात को प्रमोट करता हूं कि इसमें स्टूडेंट एटॉनमी है। अपने डिसिप्लिन्स को, अपनी चॉइस के विषयों को खुद तय करेगा। जो गुलदस्ता मेरे जीवन में बाहर लाएगा, उस गुलदस्ते के फूल चुनने का अधिकार मुझे होना चाहिए। ये स्ट्रक्चर हम आगे तय नहीं करेंगे। जैसे रत्नावली जी ने कहा, हार्ड सेपरेशंस के अगेंस्ट है ये पॉलिसी और हमारा करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क। इसमें मैं डिटेल्स में नहीं जाना चाहता कि हमारे एनईपी सेल के सदस्यों ने कितना एक एक बिंदु पर ध्यान दिया, समय लगाया, एंश्योर करने के लिए कि स्टूडेंट को अपनी चॉइस के एरियाज को नर्चर करने में, डेवलप करने में, मल्टीपल कोर्सेज को पढ़ने में, वो माइनर नहीं बनाना चाहता, ये भी छूट है। वो 6 डिसिप्लिन्स के 2-2 पेपर पढ़ना चाहता है, ये भी छूट है। जीई के अंदर भी है और दूसरे डिसिप्लिन के डीएसई को जीई के तौर पे लेके उन डिसिप्लिन्स में भी अपने इंटरेस्ट को एक्सप्लोर करने की पॉसिबिलिटी है। ये करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर अगर हम नहीं अपनाना चाहते किसी भी कारण से, तो हम एक रास्ता खोल रहे हैं कि हम जो एक विकास एजुकेशनल डेवलपमेंट का जो डोमेन और जो पीरियड 2020 की पॉलिसी से आया है, जिसमें इंटर एंड इंट्रा यूनिवर्सिटी मोबिलिटी का एक रास्ता खुला है, उस रास्ते से हम वन साइड ट्रैफिक कर देंगे। हमारे स्टूडेंट्स बाहर जाएंगे तो शायद करिकुलम की पैरिटी या क्रेडिट्स की पैरिटी ना होने से हो सकता है वो नुकसान में रहें, और बाहर से आने वाले स्टूडेंट्स जो दिल्ली में या दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ना चाहते हैं, उनके लिए शायद हम वो रास्ते नहीं खोल पाएंगे। तो अगर हम अपने परिदृश्य को बड़ा करें, अपने होराइजन को फैलाकर देखें, तो हॉलिस्टिकली इस पॉलिसी को देखने की और समझने की जरूरत है। इसके किसी नैरो पैरामीटर्स के ऊपर, एक एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर या एक पक्षीय एस्पेक्ट के ऊपर हम देखेंगे तो शायद हम इस संस्था के साथ, इस करिकुलम के साथ, और नपे तुले शब्दों में कहूं तो शायद शिक्षा नीति के साथ हम जस्टिस नहीं करेंगे। दोस्तों, मैं टीचर एजुकेशन का स्टूडेंट हूं। अभी इस मीटिंग से थोड़ा पहले मिनिस्ट्री की एक टीचर एजुकेशन पर एक बैठक हमारी चल रही थी, और उसमें यह कहा जा रहा था कि जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क यूजीसी की तरफ से या मिनिस्ट्री की तरफ से आना है, वो शायद 2023 से लागू होगा। टीचर एजुकेशन में भी इसको 2023 से लागू करने की बात कही। 160 क्रेडिट अधिकतम होंगे 4 साल के डिग्री प्रोग्राम में। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली ने इस लीड को लेने के साथ साथ ये भी फायदा किया कि हमने उस 160 डिग्री की लिमिटेशन से बियॉन्ड, in the interest of our academic standards of University of Delhi, in the interest of our students, in the interest of our institution, हमने ये तय किया कि ये पैरामीटर्स अभी नेगोशिएबल हैं, क्योंकि अभी यूजीसी या मिनिस्ट्री अपना करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर नहीं लाए हैं। अगर कहीं उनका करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर आ गया जो 160 क्रेडिट का है, जो मैं आपसे शेयर कर रहा हूं, जो नेशनल हायर एजुकेशन क्वालिफिकेशन फ्रेमवर्क में सजेस्ट किया गया है, तो हो सकता है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली एक रास्ता दिखाने की बजाय, एक लीडर बनने की बजाय, एक दिखाए हुए रास्ते पर चलने को बाध्य कर दी जाए। हम जैसा सीबीसीएस में हमने पास्ट में देखा है, जब सीबीसीएस स्ट्रक्चर आ गया तो हमें फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी मिली 30% करिकुलम को अब लोकल कॉन्टेक्स्ट के साथ जोड़ने की। ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी अच्छी है अगर हमने काम नहीं किया, लेकिन अगर हम काम करके 100% फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी के साथ आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं, तो दिस इज अ ब्यूटीफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी व्हेन वी शुड बी फॉलोइंग दिस, नॉट ओनली फॉर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली बट ऑल्सो सेटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स फॉर मोस्ट ऑफ द यूनिवर्सिटीज इन द कंट्री। माई लास्ट 2-3 पॉइंट्स, क्योंकि मुझे पता है समय काफी हुआ है और आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों का शेड्यूल अलग तरीके से बना हुआ है। डीयू के पास एजुकेशन पॉलिसी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर हम देखें तो इंडस्ट्रीज के साथ जोड़ने का, एम्प्लॉयर्स के साथ जोड़ने का रास्ता तो ये पॉलिसी देती ही है। मैंने कहा एक तरफ प्राचीन भारतीय समाज की जो समझ थी, जो ज्ञान परंपरा थी, भारतीय भाषाएं, और दूसरी तरफ रोबोटिक साइंस, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, 4th जनरेशन डेटा एनालिसिस जैसे लार्जर इश्यूज जो इंटरनेशनल सिनेरियो में आगे बढ़ाते हैं, उनका भी रास्ता खोलती है। हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी इस मामले में सौभाग्यशाली है कि हमने 2022 से ही टेक्नोलॉजी के कुछ कोर्सेज को भी स्टार्ट करने का डिसीजन लिया है, जिसमें रोबोटिक साइंस, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, हमारी जो फैकल्टी ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी उस पर जो काम कर रही है, वो भी एक नया रास्ता है। तो ये कुल मिलाकर ना सिर्फ दिल्ली विश्वविद्यालय के आगे बढ़ने का एक रास्ता है, बल्कि साथ ही साथ एक देश को, एक शैक्षिक संस्थाओं को रास्ता दिखाने का भी समय है। माय लास्ट पॉइंट ऑन दिस विल बी कि एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 का जो करिकुलम फ्रेमवर्क हम देख रहे हैं इन दिनों, जो हमारे पास चर्चा का विषय है और जिसके ऊपर ILLL और हंसराज कॉलेज ने 3 दिन की लेक्चर सीरीज ऑर्गेनाइज की, ताकि हम अपने साथियों को अधिक से अधिक कम समय में इसके ऊपर बातचीत करके अपने संदर्भ सही कर सकें, और उन संदर्भों में जो चिंताएं हैं हमारे साथियों की, जो उनके कंसर्न्स हैं, उनको भी एड्रेस कर सके, पहचान सके। कोई भी फ्रेमवर्क फाइनल नहीं होता, द बेस्ट नहीं होता। इसी समझ के साथ हमने इसे पब्लिक डोमेन में डाला है कि इसके ऊपर अगर कोई बात करना चाहती है, यूनिवर्सिटी के हमारे कर्मचारी, अध्यापक, स्टूडेंट्स, कम्युनिटी, इंडस्ट्री, तो अपने सुझाव हमें कॉन्क्रीट तरीके से, कंस्ट्रक्टिव तरीके से दे, हम उस पर काम करने को तैयार हैं। मैं लास्ट में ये कह के अपनी बात खत्म करना चाहता हूं। आज यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ दिल्ली के कुछ साथी मुझे मिलने आए और उनका कंसर्न करिकुलम के कुछ मुद्दों पर था। एक्टिविस्ट साथी हैं, एक्टिविज्म या कोई भी जो ऑडिटर है वो हमें सही रास्ते पर चलने का हमारे लिए काम करता है। वो कहता है कि मैं ऑडिट कर रहा हूं आपके काम को, आपके पेस को, आपके कंटेंट को, तो आप कहीं गड़बड़ी करेंगे तो मैं यहां बैठा हूं। और वो एक्टिविस्ट साथी जब आए तो इसी स्पिरिट के साथ 2 घंटा उनसे चर्चा हुई मेरी, करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर्स को हमने डिस्कस किया, उनकी चिंताओं को समझा। और जब मैं नटशेल में बताता हूं, एक अभी क्वेश्चन आंसर्स में आ रहा था हमारे एक साथी का सवाल कि प्रैक्टिकल्स एंड ट्यूटोरियल्स को हम कैसे एड्रेस करेंगे। तो मैंने उन्हें कहा कि प्रैक्टिकल्स और ट्यूटोरियल्स को एड्रेस करने के बहुत सारे रास्ते हैं। हमने जो इसमें एनईपी सेल में चर्चा की 1+3, 2+2, 3+1, ये तीनों ऑप्शंस को हम लेके चलना चाहते हैं और कॉलेजेस को या कंसर्न डिसिप्लिन को ये ऑटोनॉमी देना चाहते हैं कि वो डिफाइन करे कि उसके किस पर्चे में कितने प्रैक्टिकम की आवश्यकता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि प्रैक्टिकम काउंट नहीं होगा। मुझे उन साथियों से बात करके समझ आया कि 1 क्रेडिट के प्रैक्टिकम का मतलब होता है 2 घंटे की क्लास। तो अगर ऐसा है तो उसके लिए भी हम उस पैरामीटर को आगे लेके चलने के लिए तैयार हैं, अगर वो एग्जिस्टिंग डोमेन में एग्जिस्टिंग प्रैक्टिस का हिस्सा है। तो जाते जाते जो उनसे क्लोज किया मैंने अपने डिस्कशन को, उसी के साथ मैं यहां क्लोज करना चाहता हूं। उन्होंने कहा कि सर इसका मतलब 3 साल के बाद जो झगड़ा है 148 क्रेडिट वर्सेस 132 क्रेडिट, या 4 साल के बाद जो 196 और 176 या 200 और 176 है, इसको हम कैसे समझें। तो मैं उन्हें रिक्वेस्ट किया, मैंने उन्हें समझाने की कोशिश की कि जब तक हम पूरी पिक्चर नहीं देखेंगे हम कंक्लूजन पे नहीं आ सकते। अगर आपको एक पूरे परिदृश्य को समझना है तो अपना होराइजन ब्रॉड करना पड़ेगा। एग्जाम्पल मैंने दिया कि एक बच्चे को 200 रुपये महीना पॉकेट मनी मिलती है। उसके फादर ने कहा अब मैं तुम्हें 200 रुपये महीना नहीं दूंगा, हर 10 दिन बाद तुम 80 रुपये ले सकते हो। तो बच्चा 10 दिन में कहने लगा मेरी पॉकेट मनी कम हो गई। मैंने कहा नहीं, 20वें दिन की इंतजार करो, 80 रुपये और जुड़े उसके खाते में। उसने कहा अभी तो 160 ही मिले हैं, पहले 200 मिल जाते थे। जब तीसरा 10 डेज का पीरियड बीता और उसको 80 रुपये मिले, तब उसको समझ में आया कि ये 200 रुपये के अगेंस्ट मुझे 240 रुपये मिले। तो हम किसी करिकुलम स्ट्रक्चर के इथॉस को, फिलॉसफी को या उसके लॉजिस्टिक्स को कंपार्टमेंट्स में, टुकड़ों में करके ना समझें, हॉलिस्टिकली समझें, उसकी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव अप्रोच को समझें, वो कैसे इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स के साथ मीट करने के साथ साथ बच्चों को फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दे रहा है कि बच्चे बीच में 18 से 26 सेमेस्टर एक सेमेस्टर में अर्न कर सकते हैं। तो ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी तय करेगी कि 4th ईयर तक आते आते अगर मैंने 148 क्रेडिट अर्न किया है तो मेरे पास पूरा एक सेमेस्टर सेव किया। अब इस सेमेस्टर को मैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में, इंटर्नशिप में, जॉब में, दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी में स्पेशलाइज्ड कोर्सेज करने में, दूसरी कंट्री में एक्सपोजर लेने में इस्तेमाल कर सकता हूं और वापस आके अपना बैलेंस 22 क्रेडिट का क्लोज कर सकता हूं। तो ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी वेस्ट के बच्चों को, यूरोप के बच्चों को, डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज के बच्चों को ही क्यों हो, हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को क्यों ना हो। तो ये कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली जब तक हम नहीं देखेंगे, सिर्फ 80 रुपए पॉकेट मनी मिली है नहीं, ये पहली इंस्टॉलमेंट मिली है। 2nd ईयर में, 3rd ईयर में, 4th ईयर के बाद आप जज कीजिए कि ये प्रोग्राम किसी भी एग्जिस्टिंग बैचलर डिग्री प्रोग्राम से किस तरह से, किस मायने में एडवांस है, प्रोग्रेसिव है, एडवांस और प्रोग्रेसिव होने के साथ साथ कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव है, जो 21वीं सेंचुरी की नीड्स को, स्टूडेंट्स को तैयार करता है 21वीं सेंचुरी के लिए और एक श्रेष्ठ भारत और विकसित भारत के लिए। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।
थैंक यू प्रोफेसर पंकज। प्रोफेसर पंकज, अभी भी
जी।
देखो आपको सुनने के लिए 200 से ज्यादा पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे। थैंक
आई
यू
एम
वेरी मच।
ग्रेटफुल, आई एम ग्रेटफुल।
डॉक्टर ज्योति।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, इतना क्रिस्प तरीके से आपने पूरा समझा दिया। मुझे लगता है बहुत सारे क्यूए सेक्शन में जो क्वेश्चंस आए हैं आपके एड्रेस में, बहुतों के आंसर्स तो ऑलरेडी मिल गए हैं। तो स्टिल एज अ प्रोटोकॉल, लेट मी टेक अप अ फ्यू क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम द क्यूए सेक्शन इफ यू अलाउ अस। बताइए।
रहेगा कि हम कुछ क्रिस्प क्वेश्चंस को 2-3 को एड्रेस कर सके।
जी सर, ये क्वेश्चन बार बार रिपीट हो रहा है जिसका आंसर मुझे बड़ा ऑब्वियस लग रहा है, फिर भी मैं चाहूंगी मैं आपसे पूछ लूं कि कैन 2021 बैच स्टूडेंट्स डू अ 4-year डिग्री?
वो इतने लकी नहीं है, वो इतने
अगर
लकी
मैं
और डिग्री ले सके।
अगर मैं 1969 की जगह 1869 में पैदा हुआ होता तो मैं फ्रीडम मूवमेंट का हिस्सा बना होता, लेकिन वो मुझे नहीं मिला क्योंकि समय पीछे नहीं जाता, समय आगे जाता है। तो ज्योति ने कहा आंसर ऑब्वियस है। जो भी नया प्रोग्राम, नया स्ट्रक्चर आता है वो रिट्रोस्पेक्टिव नहीं होता, वो आगे के बैचेस के लिए होता है, आगे के लिए होता है। तो अनफॉर्चुनेटली दोस्त, आप उसमें शायद फायदा नहीं उठा पाएंगे, लेकिन मास्टर डिग्री प्रोग्राम के लिए आप न्यू स्ट्रक्चर को देख पाएंगे, समझ पाएंगे। 21 बैच भी समझ पाएगा, ऐसी मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ।
जी सर। सर एक सवाल है, डू वी हैव टू सिक्योर फुल क्रेडिट्स लाइक 88 on 88 क्रेडिट्स टू एग्जिट आफ्टर सेकंड ईयर?
ये जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी हमने दिया 2 सेमेस्टर, 4 सेमेस्टर और 6 सेमेस्टर के बाद एग्जिट का, इसमें जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है वो वर्टिकल मोबिलिटी के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में है। लेकिन अगर आप एग्जिट करना चाहते हैं, सर्टिफिकेट क्लेम करना चाहते हैं, तो आपको कंप्लीट कोर्स ऑफ 48 क्रेडिट फॉर फर्स्ट ईयर, 4488 क्रेडिट करना पड़ेगा, तभी आपको सर्टिफिकेट या डिप्लोमा मिलेगा।
पूरे 88 on 88
रिक्वायरमेंट कंप्लीट सर्टिफिकेट से, जैसे 88 on 88, yes, 88 on 88 is the requirement, but if you have done 80 credits, then nobody stops you from vertical mobility.
So there's one more question जो 2-3 बार रिपीट हुआ है ये भी. What about computer science or electronics? Are we giving them BTech degree after 4 years?
ये सवाल का एकदम ऑफ हैंडेड में आंसर नहीं देना चाहता, क्योंकि पॉइंट है, इसको हम डिस्कस करेंगे। अगर whosoever is asking this, I would request कि अपने ऑब्जर्वेशन की तरह अगर हमें NEP सेल को भेजते हैं, हम नोट भी कर रहे हैं, हम जरूर इसका आंसर देंगे, लेकिन इस टाइम में इसका आंसर नहीं देना चाहता।
जी जी। So Professor Naveen Kumar from Computer Science Department has a lot of suggestions which he has written in the QA section. I would request him to fill the suggestion form which is there uploaded on the DU website. कुछ सवाल भी हैं साथ में, जैसे can there be some centralized guidelines about logical completeness for which the students are earning a certificate or diploma? कुछ एक centralized guidelines बन जाएं अगर?
Of course,
जी जी।
Of course गाइडलाइंस साथ साथ डेवलप होंगी। बहुत सारे, जैसे ये प्रैक्टिकल वाला सवाल नवीन जी का है, नवीन जी ने बहुत अच्छे सवाल पूछे हैं, इसमें मैंने उनको कॉपी करके अपने पास नोट भी किया है ताकि हम NEP सेल में उस पर चर्चा कर सकें। रमा जी ने भी उसको 1-2 क्वेश्चंस मेरे साथ व्हाट्सएप पे इस डिस्कशन के दौरान भी बातचीत की है। तो हमारी कंसर्न है कि हमारे प्रोग्राम में जो भी गैप्स हैं, अगर उनको टाइमली आइडेंटिफाई किया जाता है तो हम उन गैप्स के साथ आगे नहीं बढ़ना चाहते। ऐसा होता तो शायद हम इसको पब्लिक डोमेन में लाकर सजेशंस नहीं मांगते जी। प्रैक्टिकल्स का कंपोनेंट है, जैसे मैंने कहा 1+3, 2+2 या 3+1। अब ये डोमेन कमेटी ऑफ कोर्सेज का है, कंसर्न डिपार्टमेंट का है कि वो कैसे अपने प्रोग्राम को, अपने किस पेपर में कितना प्रैक्टिकम रिक्वायर्ड है। लेकिन अगर आप बात करना चाहें स्किल एनहेंसमेंट कोर्सेज की, ये भी एक कंसर्न है। स्किल एनहेंसमेंट कोर्सेज क्या वो क्रिटिकल होंगे? नो। स्किल एनहेंसमेंट तब तक नहीं होता जब तक हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस उसके साथ अटैच ना किया जाए। तो उसमें थ्योरी का कंपोनेंट होगा जस्ट टू इंडक्ट यू इनटू दैट डोमेन ऑफ स्किल्स, बट ग्रेजुअली विद इन इंस्टीट्यूशन और विद सम पार्टनरशिप विद सम इंडस्ट्री, some NGO, some nearby organization, or by collating resources at a cluster level. We need to go for hands-on experience. Only then we can give true meaning to skill enhancement. And only then we can justify the certificate which we are giving after first year or diploma which we are giving after second year. अगर skill enhancement नहीं हुआ, theory पढ़ा तो उसका meaning नहीं है।
Right, sir. So there's another question which says, is there flexibility to take online courses, at least elective courses?
इसको लेकर अभी इट्स इमेच्योर टू से एनीथिंग, लेकिन ऐसा सोचा जा सकता है कि जो लैंग्वेजेस हैं या जिन जैसे मान लीजिए दिल्ली में अब तमिल भाषा के बच्चे, हम तमिल का ऑप्शन खोलते हैं और उस तमिल भाषा में हंसराज कॉलेज में 2 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, हिंदू कॉलेज में 1 है, वेंकटेश्वरा कॉलेज में 8 हैं, टीचिंग अरेंजमेंट्स भी लिमिटेड हैं। तो ऐसी जगहों पे हम जरूर जाना चाहेंगे कुछ ऑनलाइन मोड में, लेकिन अदरवाइज जहां पॉपुलर कोर्सेज हैं, पॉपुलर स्टूडेंट्स हैं, टीचर्स हमारे पास अवेलेबल हैं, रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास अवेलेबल हैं, वहां ऐसी कोई मंशा नहीं है
जी। So one more question is there which says, what about foreign languages? तो
लैंग्वेजेस के जो सर्टिफिकेट्स हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी में ऑलरेडी चल रहे हैं वो चलेंगे, लेकिन बैचलर डिग्री प्रोग्राम में फॉरेन लैंग्वेजेस का भी ऑप्शन इसमें नहीं है।
Dr. Indu is asking, what is the difference between academic project and dissertation? Are they the same?
नहीं, academic project is something जैसे academic dissertation has some academic flavor, it has some structure, it has some requirements कि आपका theoretical framework कहाँ से आएगा, research questions क्या हैं, field work involved है, जबकि academic project किसी एक upcoming domain को explore करने में, उसके एनालिसिस करने में या उसको कम्युनिटी के साथ जोड़कर उस डिसिप्लिन के कुछ चैलेंजेस को समझने में इनबिल्ट है। तो एकेडमिक प्रोजेक्ट हम आज भी अपने स्टूडेंट्स को देते हैं बहुत सारे। अब डिसर्टेशन शायद अगला स्टेप है। एकेडमिक प्रोजेक्ट जैसे मैंने कहा कि एनईपी पॉलिसी के जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट पे चैलेंजेस हैं उनको एनालाइज कीजिए, तो ये एक प्रोजेक्ट है जो मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ने किया एक ही स्पेसिफिक ऑब्जेक्टिव के साथ। के ऊपर स्टेक होल्डर्स का फीडबैक दीजिए, तो ये एक लिमिटेड कॉन्टेक्स्ट के साथ, एक फोकस के साथ एक डोमेन पे काम हुआ जिसका कुछ हिस्सा थियोरेटिकल है, कुछ हिस्सा अप्लाइड है, और उसमें कम्युनिटी का फीडबैक सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है। लेकिन डिसर्टेशन का वी ऑल आर एकेडमिशियंस, उसका अपना एक फ्लेवर है, वो एकेडमिक ज्यादा है और उसमें अप्लाइड का रिसर्च के माध्यम से सवाल और जवाब ढूंढे जा, लेकिन दोनों में बड़ा क्लियर डिफरेंस है जो अभी दिखाई देता है हमें।
Yeah, dissertation is deeper, supposedly as a word also, sir.
Yeah, दोनों में बहुत फर्क है।
जी जी। Sir, one question from Dr. Haneed Gandhi is there. She is saying, can students switch between academic and professional programs?
I think she is asking something about like law and bachelor's program or B.Ed and bachelor's, if I am understanding it correctly. अगर आपका
yes, she is saying yes.
अगर आपका एडमिशन बैचलर प्रोग्राम में हुआ है, लिबरल प्रोग्राम में हुआ है, तो उसी में स्विच ऑफ करने के, स्विच ऑन करने के ऑप्शंस खुले हैं। और अगर आपने प्रोफेशनल डिग्री जो रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज से मॉनिटर होती है, चाहे वो लॉ है या मेडिकल है या टीचिंग है फॉर दैट पर्पस, तो उसमें ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी हम नहीं दे पाएंगे, क्योंकि उस प्रोग्राम की रेगुलेटरी बॉडी की कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं, उनमें एडमिशंस का रिस्ट्रिक्शन है, एडमिशन प्रोसीजर का रिस्ट्रिक्शन है। जब एडमिशन प्रोसीजर ही अलग होंगे, रिक्वायरमेंट्स ही अलग होंगी, तो उसमें स्विच प्रोफेशनल में ये फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी नहीं दी जा पाएगी।
Yeah. So the next question is whether the student needs to do research in the respective college or outside their college.
Both.
The research component.
Both. Yeah. अगर वो अपने कॉलेज में, देखिए कॉलेज से हमारे टीचर्स सुपरवाइजर तो होंगे उसके, लेकिन अगर उसके डिसिप्लिन का डिमांड है कि उसमें कुछ ऐसा कंपोनेंट है जो शायद कॉलेज में मीट नहीं करता, तो उसमें बाहर से भी हम रिसोर्सेज को जोड़ सकते हैं। और फील्ड वर्क कोई ऐसा है करना चाहता है, वो बाहर करना चाहता है, तो ये तो एक रिसर्च का ओरिएंटेशन है। जो हम डिसर्टेशन है, इसे हम रिसर्च नहीं मानते, ओरिएंटेशन टू रिसर्च मानते हैं। तो ये ओरिएंटेशन है और इसमें हम जितनी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी लाना चाहेंगे, मुझे लगता है उससे ना सिर्फ डिसिप्लिन स्ट्रेंथन होता है, बल्कि इंडिविजुअल्स की समझ भी स्ट्रेंथन होती है और सोसाइटी को एट अ लार्ज फायदा होता है।
जी सर, so I think that is it. Other questions I see that have already been answered in your address. so we need not take them up again. Now, I would request Dr. Mona Bhatnagar, IQAC Coordinator, Hansraj College, to propose the formal vote of thanks and conclude day 1 of this lecture series. Mona ma'am, please.
Excuse me, Dr. Jyoti,
Yes,
somebody is asking in the chat box that whether the recording could be available. So we can inform them that we have gone Facebook Live,
right.
also YouTube. So recordings would be available on the YouTube and Facebook.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's on the poster also.
Right.
So the links are on the poster, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not only Facebook and that, but we'll made access to ILLL website also.
Yeah. So we are recording the meeting on Zoom. So Zoom recordings can also be shared later on with the participants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Jyoti. Very good evening to everyone. It's my pleasure to present the formal vote of thanks. I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Yogesh Singh sir, for gracing the program with his august presence. Sir, your inaugural address would surely serve as a motivation for the academic fraternity to include compassion, teamwork, and moral ethics in our teaching methodology. Honorable Vice Chancellor emphasized that we should now take this opportunity of implementing NEP on the ground level in its true letter and spirit, which is simultaneously Indian student-centric and also had global focus. I would also like to thank our speakers, Professor Ratnavali and Professor Pankaj Arora, for being with us today and sharing the detailed dynamics of the draft UGCF 2022. You both really brought out in a beautiful manner the ethos of NEP and how we can amalgamate the multidisciplinary education with outcome-based education, experiential learning, and skill-based education that leads to entrepreneurship. We are sure that the aspects that you have highlighted in your talk have definitely addressed the concerns of all the stakeholders. This draft is going to serve as guideline for other universities towards adoption of NEP 2020. I also extend vote of thanks to our principal, Professor Dr. Rama, and Director ILLL, Professor Pankaj Arora, for encouraging us to organize this series. I also thank Professor Yukti and her team of ILLL for being with us in making this initiative a success, along with the MHRFDC team of Dr. Jyoti Bhola, Professor Namrata, Dr. Ashutosh, and I would also like to express my gratitude to Professor Jaswinder, Professor Niranjan, and Professor Ravi Prakash, and other dignitaries for being here with us in our endeavor and sparing their valuable time. At the end, I would also like to thank the participants for showing such enthusiasm in registering for this program and being patient throughout the program. The suggestions shared by the participants have been duly noted, and we hope the final draft would incorporate your concerns. Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Namaskar.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to you, Dr. Mona, also. Thanks to you also.
Thank you.
Many kudos to Professor Pankaj ji for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Dhanyawad. Or for organizing such a wonderful program by Rama ji and Pankaj ji, both institutions and the team. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Jyoti Bhola and Professor Yukti.
Sare log and the team. That is why I told the team.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
So much, everyone. Regarding the feedback link, we are already taking the feedback which is being posted on the chat section. Otherwise, we'll be floating a formal feedback link right in the end. Once the lecture series last day is there over, we'll be circulating one formal feedback link too. Thank you so much, everyone. We will be looking forward to the next session tomorrow with the next set of speakers. Thank you so much for being patient listeners and joining all through. You know, I see 180 people are still there. So thank you so much, everybody. Thanks a lot. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.